So you can sit inside. Picking up his pictures random dude just come up. Yeah, we're getting his ticket to go back to Tokyo for the night in the hotel. We'll be editing all this together. Possible. Do try turning into the kids up. We're doing that last Monday.
I'm with a cold sweat.
Hot sweat, mate. You said this were going home with you. 600 quid, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm up. Hey, oh, did you hear that?
No.
You said 600. We're having that as a first time thing.
20 seconds.
Right, if I bid again, are you going to bid any more?
Ten, nine.
Well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But then, do you not care? If you get a slope, do you not? Does it not start to build up down?
Sorry, I had to do it.
To be everything I've ever built on a slope, mate. I forgot everything.
Yo, wait. Good evening, Rick.
Hello.
Good evening,
Right.
Matt. I'm good, you?
What have you done to your hair, Rick?
It's
An
going
hat on,
for
isn't
the straight out of a hat look, I reckon.
It's a funny colour still, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a funny colour. Natural on the top and dyed at the sides, mate, by the look of it to me.
Mate, I don't know.
Good
That
evening,
went, wasn't
everyone, and welcome to this week's GKP Thursday Night Live. Hope everybody's well and had a good week up to press, and likewise to you two guys as well. I hope you've had a good one. Has there been anything eventful, Matt?
No, it's been pretty good. Been stripping down the ponds, refilling.
Where you were going for a minute with that?
Yeah. No, stripping down the ponds and getting ready for the fish to come back in maybe a few weeks' time.
How many hours? How many hours before you go?
12 hours.
12 hours.
Flying
So you
in
just
12
built up a-
hours.
Do. I had a bit of a scare this morning, though. One of the customers that's coming with me texted me to say he is right on the verge of cancelling. A really bad stinking cold, been in bed for 2 days. And like,
Wow.
mate, you
So if
just
everybody wants to
can't-
buy a position right quick and change your name by default to the said gentleman's name, you might be able to get out there right fast.
he messaged
Looks like a
tonight.
toupee, Rick.
I don't know what to do with it.
Get it cut?
Too cold to have it cut, innit? I do.
I will take that ticket. I think a lot of us would do. I definitely would if you could change your name, but never mind. Hopefully, mate, he'll get over his cold and you'll get to get out there and get everything that you need and get sorted and get yourselves some nice stock to come back with.
Yeah.
And most of all, have a good time, mate, and enjoy it, hopefully. I mean, it's technically turning into winter out there as I speak. It's snowing and covering and has been doing since I got home about 6:15. It was sleeting a little bit, but now it's snowing and covering over again. So we'll wake up tomorrow morning to 13 foot of snow and 3 weeks off of work.
Nice.
And it's nice and mild down here.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate, isn't it? We're saying that it was cold today at work. It was chuffing freezing, man. Really did feel cold.
I filled up 2 of the tanks yesterday and last night, and the water came out 7.5 degrees. And I put the air source heat pumps, and they were up to 16 when I walked in just a minute ago. So that's how mild it is that they're pulling that amount of air or heat out of the air.
And has all yours got up to temperature as well now, Rick, or are they chilling off a little bit, or are you getting it warm? Is it all right down your way?
Yeah, they're all up to 25. Been sat at 25 for a week now. But the air source heat pump started playing up again today, so
Oh shit!
I don't know what.
Look,
Well,
on your heat pump, have you got a pre-filter, or are you
Yes.
chucking them up through there?
No, it's all pre-filtered and whatever. It's a sensor error on the temperature of the air going through it. Apparently, I don't know. So I don't know. It's only got to go another month, and then that'll be shut down for the next however long.
I think that's probably one of the problems with them. They're left like mine was, and I turned it on today, first time in probably 6 months, and pressed the button that you have to come up to the menu, and every time you pressed it, nothing would happen. Just kept pressing it, nothing at all, and it was set at 26 when it was turned off. I'm like, I don't want it at 26.
So you can't lower it then?
No, well, I left it running for about an hour, and I reckon it was just damp and humid inside. And whether it's dried itself out, now it's working perfectly fine.
All right, so likelihood is it was just a bit of moisture in there that were messing it up a little bit, leaving it running and getting warmed up, dried it out, jobs are good.
Yeah.
No, because they aren't cheap, are they? And we've got a good number of topics to discuss. And obviously, guys, as usual, I'd like your input. And if any of you has got any topics that you would like to have a natter and a chat about tonight, just do as usual. Type it out, stick a question mark on the end now because it stands out nice and easy. So you don't need to do capital letters or all like that. Just literally put it in there, but put a question mark on the end. And that way, then I can spot it from everybody else's. But obviously, when we're talking about these topics and subjects that we've got tonight, chime in. Have your opinion. Drop your comments in so we can bring them up and we can discuss, and it might further more and more into it. Talking of which,
did you not just go blank then?
I did.
Oh, my whole screen did.
Oh, that's
Weird.
a shame. It didn't look like it did on broadcast anyway. Not yet. So, end question. Bell. On the end of the question that you're writing out. You know what I mean. Right then. First one for this evening then. Let's bring up a little topic. Yes. Another bitch. That wasn't quite what I wanted. Where did I wanted that to go? This one. Growth versus colour. Can you really have both? If you wanted to push for maximum growth, what are the potential risks?
I don't think you can do it without both or without colour.
As in,
So flipping the question on its head, I think, yeah, if you just push them without colour food, the chance of damaging the Benny beyond repair.
Don't think that was the question, was it, Gas?
well, no, it's growth. Can you have both? It's a sense of growth, growing a fish really big. You push it and grow it too
sort of
big.
saying, can you grow them properly or do you, if you're going to feed colour food, do you not get the maximum growth? But I'd have to say, if you're going to grow them flat out, a decent quality go Sankey, the chances are if you don't give some colour food, you're going to ruin it. Before, so yes, you could perhaps grow it slightly bigger on a diet without any colour enhancers. But the chance of it being any use afterwards is...
But the risk of... I mean, to get these fish that like they do, to the sizes that they do, i.e., the new jumbo toe size, that you can get up to 50 odd cm now. They've got to be putting a lot into those to produce those sizes of fish, but still maintaining that coloration, that pattern, that good, luster to them, i.e., depth of Benny and such.
When you look at the All Japan winner, 6 years old, colour and body that they had on it, it's got to have had colour and heat.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, that you can't grow fish without. Our problem is a lot of people will grow fish through the winter when you haven't got enough natural light.
Yeah,
that's going to be an issue. And if you don't give them a pond, a growing on system in this country where they get nothing but the diet you give them, then that diet has to include everything. Whereas if you've got a mud pond in Japan, for example, you can grow them flat out through the summer and they're getting natural color enhancer in that pond anyway with the natural foods they're eating. So it depends on where they are and what you can do with them. But yeah, if you took a young 6-month-old fish from Japan, it's got all the potential to look like the grand champion fish from Dainichi, stuck it in your shed, heated it to 27 degrees and grew it without any color food and without any light, it ain't going to look very good after 5 years.
Well, an example that I've seen personally, I did a grown show a couple of years ago, and we all participated in it with a shower, obviously. And the best, biggest fish, by which I'm saying the best, biggest fish, or the biggest fish was some 48 cm, but it was shocking for its colour and its pattern. The vast majority of most of the Benny had completely dropped off. The Sumi looked stretched and thin, and then the body profile of the fish looked absolutely banging, but the quality of the pattern and the colour and all that side of it was, well, for me, it looked ruined. The fish wasn't what it was, or nowhere near as good as it was as a smaller toe size before the grow on show begun. Yes, it got the biggest size, but absolutely destroyed the pattern and coloration of the fish.
Do you not think, though, that the fish need to have that genetic in them and that body makeup to actually achieve it? As in, you could have 5 fish exactly the same spawning, and one lot will do something that the other lot won't. It's a bit like us humans. You can have brothers and sisters, one fat, one slim, one tall, one short. And that's
I do personally, Matt. Yeah.
With someone that knows what they're doing, we'll be able to pick out if you've got 10 siblings from the same spawning, they're not all going to have the same bone structure. They're not all going to have the same size potential. They're not all going to have the same Benny quality, Sumi quality, Shiroji quality, everything. So that's why even when you're buying fish from high-level parents, all things aren't equal. There'll be fish amongst them that are.
It's not like the clone copies of them, are they? They've got their own
variations
traits to them too.
That's why getting a good quality Sankey or whatever is just so difficult, because you've got to have every element.
You're saying about my mum and dad should have got rid of my sister?
Is she the skinny one of the family?
Oh, dear me. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there just in case. Very much doubt my family would be watching, but yeah, if you looked at the traits of that sort of size and bulking out, there's a fair few in my family that did where I didn't. But it's a little bit. There's like even the such as you got 200 fish from a spawning, and you've narrowed them down. There's no to say that those 200, let's say Kahaku, whatever, Sankey, Showa, whichever it might be. There's nothing to say. I hope she's not watching too, but I doubt she will be, and if she is, have some of them. But there's no to say that those particular fish will literally go all the way through their lives without drop off a Benny. That can still happen regardless, and it's not always genetics either, though, is it? That you can get a drop off of Benny. Benny dropping off can be environmental, or the fish just being parasites bringing fish down, making it feel shit, lethargic, whatever. All sorts of stuff can affect the fish in that sense, can't it? So that it loses coloration.
Yeah, well, that's the trouble with Benny, isn't it? So it can fall off through predisposed genetics. It can fall off through poor environment, poor diet, stress. You can name
UV,
damage. There's so many, which is when you see these high quality big fish. It's so much. The more you learn about it, it's so much more impressive when you actually.
Yeah, when you like what you said in past, to get a Sankey to that size of 1890 cm, to keep all those aspects perfect throughout, it's like that's one hell of an achievement, isn't it? It's not an easy task, is it? A lot of people may think it is, but to get it to that mass grand, let's say for example the all Japan Grand Champion sort of status, it ain't easy, is it at all? People make it sound like it's easy, but I wouldn't imagine it's that.
But how many fish would Danichi in that case started off with?
Yeah, before they got that.
With the intention of taking that to the show, how many did he have to begin with? I bet it was a freaking lot.
How do you mean? What stage? I mean, they probably do 20 million fish a year.
Yeah,
that's a lot, Matt.
And there might be, of those 20 million, there might hatch, I don't know, 10 fish that might have the potential to make it the grand champion without anything going wrong. So each year they might have 10 offspring from 20 million that potentially could be to that level. But of those 10, half a turn out male. And
so they're not going to get that mass and that size.
So suddenly you're down to 5, and then one might get sold before it's deemed good enough or whatever, because it's just one of those things that does happen, certainly with showers and whatever. And you might then, so you got down to 4, one jumps out, one gets eaten.
Yes, the numbers soon deteriorate rapidly, don't they?
Realistically, yeah, each year they might end up with 2 fish that could get there with, if nothing goes wrong with that fish, health issues, predatory issues, damage. It's mental.
Another thing, like we'll go back to some of the questions that we've had put in. Another thing that not so much worries me, but I've seen it, and I've seen it quite a few times. I've seen a few posts over the last couple of months of people losing, impressive fish, good size, 80, 90 cm fish, some even bigger sometimes. And you think, when you're reading it or you're reading the subject, and then you look at it and you think, 9-year-old? Shit, man, I mean, that's not an old age for a fish that potentially could, in the right environment, if legend and all the rest of it is to be believed, but I don't obviously think that was to that size and that stature of them, but 60, 70, 80 plus years.
Yeah, but
even more if you want to believe.
The whole world difference between a fish kept at 10 degrees pretty much his whole life.
Yeah,
it was probably, that fish was only about 20 inches long at 100-year-old or whatever.
Yeah,
it looked like a mongrel. So it's the genetics to create the quality. You shorten the lifespan. The environment we keep them in shortening the lifespan. So 10-year-old, yeah, it's probably more than the average koi in a lot of places, isn't it?
but again, most of that will probably, like you've said, it passed though. No, 10-year-old, 9, 10-year-old. That's 9, 10-year-old years that we've had officially. But that fish may very well have had continuous growing temperatures at 24 degrees and is near, 8 more, ideally closer to 18 years old. We're having, artificial winters turn to summers, continuous growth.
It's why it should be done degree days, isn't it? There's no time scale. When your body is the same temperature as the water, then time is kind of irrelevant in that sense.
Yeah, it's not, isn't it?
Yeah, a fish in your pond is actually getting younger, I reckon.
It is probably hard right now. So actually, mine are all back to toe size again, which is not bad because most of them are getting over 40 cm. I know that's not big, but some of them have.
There's another big problem with it. Obviously, if you're if you're a big farm, say Momotaro, and you're pushing boundaries in growth and quality and size, so you're doing a spawn in a fish and you're selecting those that show insanely fast growth whilst keeping good qualities, and at 4 years old they're 80 centimeters, and you use them as parents, and then again you keep the best fish from them, and at 4 years old you use them as parents, but then later find that those fish have got a genetic flaw where they might grow to 90 centimeters really quickly, but they only survive 8 years.
Yeah.
And before you know that, you're already 2 generations in.
Yeah. You've already. Yeah.
And that's just something that you'll have some farms in Japan that'll have parents that are 30 years old, they've used for donkey's years. They fish might not grow in the same manner, but the longevity of those fish is totally different. And that's, that's just inbreed, and that's something that will happen in everything you do. You select certain traits, but you don't know if there's a hidden trait that might be negative, which comes out further, and you have to keep changing, chopping, and there's no one out in Japan going, let's pick the fish that lives the longest and I'll breed from that.
No, true. It's all pattern, size, mass, body, not longevity, isn't it?
Yeah, and the environment, the farms are so good at what they do that those fish have the best environment while they're there for 2 years, 3 years, and then they go off to a hobbyist pond that suddenly isn't the best environment because it's not kept consistently at 25 degrees. They're not fed a nice sinking paste.
Yeah, good reach.
All these things that these farms that do the top end fish, they're masters at it. That's what they do. And if there's a problem, they see it before it's a problem. Whereas once that fish leaves the farm, it could be an absolute nightmare. Suddenly it's got to experience temperature swings, overcrowding, stresses that it's never seen. That's when you start seeing potential issues, isn't it? So hobbyists get better. If you're dealing with those fish, you've got to know what you're doing.
I mean, it's not just because you don't necessarily, don't take this wrong, Rick, please. A lot of the times I've seen you get really good growth, big size fish, especially in Tosa, especially in the Grown Show with a Difference things that you've been doing. But potentially some of those fish that you've grown on in 2 years' time might outgrow the size of the parent stock that you've used.
Well, they do.
You don't necessarily have to get big fish from big parent stock. Big fish, if the genetics are there, could be produced from stock half the size.
Only if you, So the only way that kind of works is if you buy genetically fish that can grow big, but you put them in an environment where they don't,
where they're not forced to grow big.
So they've been in an environment where they'll just tick along and they might grow 5 centimeters a year or whatever. And so if you breed from them and push the offspring in a better environment, within three years they can outgrow
the parents, which you did with your Krashigoi, didn't you, as well? That your mother Krashigoi
multiple stuff, over the years. Because for us, a parent koi of 60, 70 centimeters is a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, that's why we're saying don't take it the wrong way. As to trying to manipulate a female koi of 95 cm and a male koi that you're trying to get the milk from, a lot more difficult task in it than when they're at 60 to 75 cm.
It's more difficult in every way. So there's more risk involved when they're spawn, when they're bigger. There's handling issues, and you end up with way too much product, basically.
Yeah, egg production.
A 90 centimeter chagoi female is going to lay 500,000 eggs, but you only want 5,000 or whatever. So it's kind of.
And obviously, keeping that parent stock is a lot more expensive to feed and maintain and keep that mass and all, isn't it, when they're a lot bigger?
It is. I mean, there's positives to it as well. I mean, if you've got a fish of that size, there's no question then that you're using a fish of the genetics.
That was milled, not milk.
So that there's swings and roundabouts with it, but from the numbers of fish, the amount of spawners we like to do, if I'm going to do 30, 35 females in a season, then ideally for me, they'd be of a nice size with the potential that they can make big, but they don't almost. And again, that's another myth. A lot of people talk about big fish. Goshki don't grow particularly big. good platinums, pure white platinums, that the real good ones tend not to be particularly fast growing fish. There's lots of varieties, Benny Kikos, from a lot of the Ioki stuff. They ain't fish that you're going to grow big.
Yeah, they might top out at 70 cm.
Yeah, well, if that, normally sort of 40, 50, 60, and that's when they're going to be at their best and go beyond that. And so, there's certain stuff that we do use bigger parents for, and there's certain stuff that they don't really exist. So you breed for quality, not size.
Yeah.
In that
respect. But you can still, that's what I mean, though, you're picking your stock well, because twice now you've done it. And I imagine if you'd have kept those in that growing on program as you did, 2 to 3 years' time, they will definitely supersede the parents, though, won't they?
Yeah, well, I've got. So one of the fish we're selling on Wednesday's auction is the Matsukawa Baki. So it's the grandparent. So we're selling the grandparent, which is 45, 50 centimetre. Its daughter, which we use now, is 70 odd centimetre. So it's a completely different animal, although it's from the same. It's just the environment that it was kept in. And then obviously we've got offspring from that. So we've got multiple generations. How big they grow is genetics. Obviously, genetics is a massive part. If you're trying to grow a fish big and it hasn't got the genetics, you can't do it. But most people aren't really.
When I've seen yours, and I've seen them at other koi farms, parent stock in the UK. And to be fair, I was really surprised at the size of them. I expected them all to be bigger. I've seen them in Poland and expected them to be bigger, and they weren't necessarily big stock fish. And again, it makes sense for what you're saying and the reasons to why. But when I went to Japan, they were all big. They were all good sized fish. I mean, I guess they're,
Yeah, but there's different reasons for it. Obviously, they've got access to those fish for a start. So obviously the farms there, they can buy big fish off each other and whatever. It's a lot easier to move them, have them. To guarantee, the trouble with genetics is I can buy an offspring from Lion Queen, from Momotaro or whatever. So genetics, it's got potential. I don't grow that fish massive. That fish might not have had the potential to grow massive. That particular one might have only ever grown to 60 cm. Because that's just, so you've always got that underlying, if the fish isn't massive, it's difficult to say, well, it's from a 90 centimetre parent. Yeah. Like I say, it's from a bloodline that the fish can grow to.
That's known to achieve that.
But the particular fish we're using might only be 60 centimetres because of the way it's been kept, but it might never have achieved that massive size. So there is a bonus, but even if you do use a massive parent, not all the offspring are going to grow massive.
Not all the offspring will be massive.
They haven't got, so
it's a bit of a catch-22.
It's cutting your odds down, basically. If you're breeding from a metre-long shower, then there's more chance of those offspring, some of those offspring, get into that kind of size. Yeah. If you're breeding from one of the offspring from a metre-long shower that's only 50 centimetres, it might never have made it. It might have only ever made it to 80 centimetres. So you've then got potentially smaller. You're reducing your numbers in terms of what fish can get to that size. But the reality is if you want a proper jumbo go Sankey, there's only really one farm you're going to in the world, and you'll pay the price for it, won't you? That's how it works, isn't it?
Gaz, everything doesn't get to a metre. If you listen to some people, it does, mate. 100%. I
think the thing with koi is you get a lot of people go, I've got to fish them up on 95, 100 centimetres. You go around there and they're like 45, 50. They're just so far away from.
It's like the
fish.
The Scottish fish when it were.
Yeah.
The one
it looks massive in their pond swimming around or whatever, but you get it out and it's 55 cm or whatever. It's like big, proper big koi are rare beasts. Proper rare. You get, if you go to Japan, you see quite a lot. And the difference is, the reason you see a lot of those farms is because they've been doing it donkey's years. They've been keeping those big ones. That's the only place you're really going to see them in those kind of numbers.
Yeah. Right then, let's have a quick listen to this one and see what you think. Air pumps.
What do you think is the best all-round pump, not the most expensive? So the best all-rounder, which is not the most expensive. Now, I've got one, and it's up to press. I've got a Jebo, and that's been running now for a year and a half, never missed a beat at all. And I've got another one, but it's got a man's name. I can't remember.
Charles Austin.
Charles Austin. And that thing, piston operated, seems to just. And I have read talks about people saying that they're quite loud, but the one I've got is quite quiet. I mean, I was giving it second hand, so that pump is a fair few years old and seems to be going and beating strong. When you watch now, I've just shit me awful. It was real good, honest guys, but it shit itself this night. But yeah, that Charles Austin one. I mean, to me, I don't think they're extremely expensive, but they seem to be very robust and well built and long lasting.
Yeah, I think there's Halia. The trouble is a lot of the pumps have different names, but they'll come from the same bloody factory. Yeah. So yeah, but you basically your choice is like a diaphragm type pump, which is cheaper and quieter, but tend to then go wrong.
The diaphragms go quite quick, though, don't they?
Yeah, you might be talking years, and the more expensive, like the Mido ones and whatever, that last for years, but your outlay is 600 quid for an air pump rather than 40 quid or whatever. You can't get what you pay for.
Your diaphragms are bloody expensive, even like for the EA ones.
Oh, damn it, yeah. Yeah, but they only tend to be a problem, though, diaphragm ones, when you switch the buggers off and they go cold. And then when you turn it back on again, that's when they tend to rip if they've been used for a long period of time. I think sometimes it's far better if you want to turn your air off to just lift the stones out or whatever it is that you're using than to run the risk of switching it off if it's something you've had running for a fair few years without giving it a good service. And if you were going to give it a good service, cleaning your air filter and changing your diaphragms would be the way down. Because most of them you can get replacement kits from. But I don't know about the piston type ones like the Charles Austin. I don't know if that one does have a replacement or whether it's when that's packed in, does it go straight in the bin? I know mine got a little bit, it started to produce less air than in summer last year than what it had been doing throughout the period. And I took it apart and I lubricated up the piston again and put it back in. I think it personally started performing better than what it did before it was given to me. And that was something, you can't do that with diaphragm one. The diaphragm comes out, goes in bin, new ones go in. That's what I thought was beneficial to the Charles Austin one. The fact that
the Charles Austin do different loads of different types, didn't they, as well? So yeah. I think we use a lot of Halia. Used to be high blows, but I think they might have been taken over by EA. Could be wrong with that. So yeah.
What about is it the Fuji something or other? The Fuji ones that you always see. Is it Fuji?
There's a couple of Japanese makes in it, I think Mido and Fuji, whatever, and they are seriously good air pumps, but they come with a chunkier price tag, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've got a bigger price tag, but if you pay a bigger price tag, does that mean it'll last longer? Does that mean it's a better quality if you pay more for it?
Those ones generally are, yeah.
A lot of people paying a lot of money for a Merc or a BMW and Audi, but they're always on our shoulder broke down, aren't they?
It's definitely the marketing skills of these companies, though, isn't it? It's like when you see it on the forums, what's the best pump? And probably the best, not the best pump, the most sold pump is EA.
Is that because they're the biggest the biggest dealers within that we're all involved in?
Which is
EA is pretty damn big. Do they sell more because they are the biggest or one of the leading brands? Or is that just pure coincidence in the stock? I'm not saying your stuff's not good, so don't take it that way. But do they sell more because they're bigger?
Oh yeah, but advertising is everything, isn't it? That's the world we live in, isn't it?
Fuji Mac, I knew it was something like that.
If you go online and just type in air pump for a koi pond, then whoever's paying the most advertising is probably the one that's going to pop up.
Yeah.
And whoever's selling them,
The vast majority of most people that are easier spending the money without doing shit tons of research to try and find one, would probably buy the first one that they come across. As long as it's got 5-star rating and everybody says it's fantastic, click.
You go on Amazon though, and they've all got 5-star rating and deliver the next day for $9.99. Turn up about that big.
But you got yourself set up with some good alternative air pumps that have got battery backup systems. But you've already had a few of them go for a shit, haven't you? So,
well, only the cheap ones that come from. I don't know if they could have come. They could have come
somewhere.
From, to be fair, I don't know. But the Halia ones we got are all fine. But the cheaper versions, yeah, we fried a few of them. But it's just one of those. Like I'd have to I think they're like 19 quid or 29 quid or something. It's just like they're so cheap with the battery backup.
You could buy 4 of them for the price of a good one, and you could use them for 2 years and bin them, can't you?
Yeah, well, the trouble is, like in the 2 that I've cooked, I mean, they were probably sat temperature in that tunnel.
Yeah, 30 odd degrees.
So hot, and then they're freezing cold when it's cold. I mean, they've been through extremes of humidity, temperature, and whatever
frostbite.
Else. But the Halia ones have been good as gold, but they tend to be sat outside doing their thing.
Yeah. Are they popping just by their use, or popping when you put them into emergency mode?
The 2 that are fried are both just the electrics, whatever's gone between the battery and something's fried. They just died. So,
what would you recommend then if you were going to recommend one to someone? What would you? I've already said the one that I would have recommended.
Yeah, I mean the Halia pumps. You can't knock the silent running. The silent Halia pumps. Probably
the Whisper Gen 2000.
So, God knows.
What about you?
I'm sure the EA ones are only they brought out. I don't know if it's high blow or whatever. Those exactly the same pump. So
no, I've got EA ones here, and they've all been fine. But what you said, Gaz, Charles Austin, are probably. I just like them because they're different, aren't they? They haven't got the diaphragm. They're piston operated. Yeah. They haven't got the risk of the diaphragm popping. But again, you sell, and I get it all the time when I'm doing a pond build or doing a quote for a filtration system. What pumps do you want? Oh, well, the ones I've been looking everybody has is EA.
But that not you can't knock EA for that or everybody else for having them. It's a good quality and they last long.
Yeah. Equally, though, at the same time, I have problems with EA where I have less problems with other brands. So, and particularly with me doing a pond build, if I'm 2-3 hours away from the place, do I really want to be driving to resolve a problem with a pump? So then you recommend what pump you want, and then they go, oh, shit, that's like 150 quid more than the one that I recommended or wanted. So,
I mean, everybody, even Mark said there, oh, my God, Gaz, they are loud. I mean, what difference does it make what volume your air pump is? Huh? If it's in your filter out,
it's rattling away.
It's not like that. Well, yeah, if they're rattling or they're vibrating around, I can get that side of it. But the noise that it makes inside your filter house is only when you're in there doing your maintenance, and most of you's got machines that do it all for you. So you're all outside feeding fish whilst cooking a bit on barbecue, having a few bevies and a few beers, just watching everything swim around. So what difference does it make, especially likes of my good friend Mark, what difference does it make how loud your air pump is inside your filter house, which is obviously insulated and soundproofed and closed off? What difference does it make?
And you got the helicopter to drown out.
Exactly, when the helicopter makes so much noise.
Silent helicopter now.
Oh, shit.
Electric one.
Electric helicopter. God. But yeah, I mean, a lot of them are noisy, though, aren't they? We've got some at work, man, and I would like to pick them up and launch them across yard, like, because you walk past it or just get a knock and that's it. Or you can hear it, and then you get it back in its right position in its right place when it's being comfortable, and it's just quiet as it's weird.
That's my life story.
Yeah,
just move her along and it's in your ear.
Getting brave, look, because he's going soon.
Yeah, I know. Because 12 hours later, it don't make a difference. He'd not be here. Seska's saying there, my EA pump has been used to clean my filters for 16 years. Still all original, not like Trigger's broom with 16 heads and 4 new handles and all that lot. Yeah, I mean, that's good going, isn't it? If you bought it and it was a little more expensive, and an EA pump is lasting up to 16 years. I did read a comment the other day about someone saying they got an Awaze pump that had done over 25 years continuous running. That's freaking good. It's extremely rare, but I would say that's freaking good, man. And to get 16 years out of an air pump, god damn. I mean, I've had some small little cheaper air pumps on my tropical fish tank, and I dread to think I must have had 7 on my tropical fish tank in the last 16 years, 17 years that it's been in here. Just here alone, I've gone through tons of them. I know they're a smaller little thing. I often think I should buy something slightly bigger and just reduce it down by having a couple of taps that are just leaking it out or banging it out into a mini pond outside. But the fact of how much air that comes, and I've gone through in little ones, I have burnt through a fair few of them. Fair few. And I've never really bought cheap.
You said a good point there, Gaz. Is a air pump life expectancy reduced depending on the pressure it's being done at?
Yeah. A lot of people, if you've got, say, for example, it comes with one main outlet, but a tap that reduces to 8. If you only have one air stone off that, you're putting a lot of back pressure back in there, and it's not getting out. Does that reduce the lifespan of a pump? I mean, I think it personally would do.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you? Especially, and it depends how deep you press. Yeah, depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know if that actually answered your question.
No, just Google, just Google and get the first one.
There's our opinions on air pumps.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to buy something and you're going to spend a decent chunk of money on it, buy it from somewhere where you can go back to if there's a problem.
What's this shit? Bang! On table when you walk in. When it's bored in 6
If you buy something cheap from China or whatever, then it is what it is. And when it breaks, it's done, isn't it? Whereas if you buy a decent one from a dealer, at least you've got somewhere to go back to when it breaks and say, look, Matt, it's broken.
Mark saying there, trying the Awazi 75, good power, but not silent. Put it inside. Do you know, years ago, I thought I had a little air pump and it were as noisy as hell. And I thought, this is doing my titting. So I'm going to put it inside a box just to silence it down a little bit. And then I thought, that's rattling around inside the box now. So I put a little bit of polystyrene in it. I thought I'll pack it round it with a bit of polystyrene and drill an hole in the bottom so it can get circulation air. And all I could hear then was a squeaking polystyrene. I launched it straight in bin and bought a new one. I drove me mad. But that was back in day when I was a younger teenager and keeping tropical fish in my bedroom. But god damn, that thing used to drive me bonkers. It was fine until it vibrated across the shelf. And then it got to a point where it was touching the wall part unit of the shelf. And then it just went all night long, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking, what the fucking hell's that? And it was the same thing again, damned air pump. It didn't make the difference what I did. Even put a few different like rubber boots on the base of it to try and make them a bit more softer so they were more cushioned. It was shit.
How old were you then, Gaz, when you first had your fish?
My first fish, I was 9-year-old, mate. And my first tropical fish I started with when I was 9. And it was a male and female swordtail. The first lot I had. Two females.
You've got them, haven't you?
I still can't know. But my granddad were really into tropical fish. And he used to take us everywhere when we were a kid, all the time. Absolutely everywhere. And then he passed when I was 11. But my uncle, which obviously my granddad's son, used to go all these tropical fish places, all over Huddersfield, all over West Yorkshire area, Leeds, Bradford, Manchester, and there were tons of them, absolutely tons of places. And my granddad used to go to wholesalers, buy wholesale stock, and he'd ship them around and move them and flog them up. And that's what really got me into it. And then my uncle said he were getting a tank, but I was too young to have a tank and being able to, look after it myself. So my uncle said, right, I'm going to set up this tank, and then I'll set up you a tank so you can have one here at my house. And then when you're old enough and you're responsible enough, you can take it home and you can have it. And that's how I started with. So I had my own little tank with them in there at my uncle's house, and then they came back to mine when I got a little bit older.
What about you, Rick?
What?
Yeah, probably 9, 10. Dug a pond in the garden with my brother. Put some fish in it. He was mad fishing. So.
It is mad how we all start out, isn't it?
A lot of people's is from parents to grandparents getting you involved in it. A lot of people that I spoke to in past have all said similar sort of thing. But you just thought, sod it, Rick, you were making a pond and stuck it in.
My brother was sort of mad. I think basically he wanted a pond and got me to dig it. Be our pond. You dig the owl and we'll put a liner in it. Yeah. Actually, to be fair, my other brother had like goldfish as well that he won from the fair, and that was so.
Oh, back in the day though, we used to go to fair and you come in with them in a bag, didn't you? We were a little landlord.
Called him Dempsey and Makepeace, so they had to buy a plastic tank to put him
Dempsey
in.
and Makepeace.
And I remember him screaming and crying one day, and he'd given him a bath in the sink in the bathroom, and one had gone down the plug, pulled the plug hole, and we had to take the U-bend out, and we got it back out the U-bend.
What about you, Matt?
I was a nasty bastard. So I'd seen a film, and I don't know whether it was The Piranha.
Oh my God.
And I wanted piranhas. And I can remember the tank. It was on a wooden shelf in my bedroom at the end of the bed. And every spring, I'd go on out and I'd bucket up loads and loads of frog spawn. And as they hatched, I'd feed them to my piranhas. But by the end of the summer, in the big tank that was out in the garden, wouldn't be tadpoles anymore. It was small frogs. They still used to.
So you used to feed them instead. A lot of people feed beef heart, don't they, to the piranhas and stuff like
that. They are harmless. Like, I used to stick my hand in there just playing around with my sisters, messing around, and they would scream, no, no, no. And they would never have a bite in that environment.
But the thing is, though, they're not that aggressive, are they, piranhas? Not like you see them in movies and stuff. They don't do that shit, do they? You jumped in a pool with piranhas, and most of them are going to belt it off and dart away. But I mean, I'm not so sure I'd want to try it for science, but
yeah, there we go. So we all kept fish when we were young.
Yeah, my first fish was when I was 10 years old. We've got the same thing there. My first fish when I was 10 years old in cold water. Me and my brother had one called jelly and tuna. I went away for the weekend and Mum added warm water to them as they were cold. Yeah, not such a. How many times did you have a pet like that where you came back from somewhere and your pet looked slightly different?
Yeah.
Trying to do the right thing, thinking you wouldn't notice.
I remember my dad's pond. I used to, and I was only, 10 or 12, something like that. And I used to literally catch all the fish in there, chuck them all into a bucket, scoop every single bit out of the pond, fill it straight up with a hose pipe, chuck the fish in there, and stand back and go, wow, look how good they look.
Nothing changes then. Still doing that.
Yeah, I can afford to do that now with borehole water.
Fair enough.
Well, this one then, Matt. How many koi is too many koi?
That's based on your filtration.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. So, if you've got a 20,000 litre pond and you're running it off, this is going to be a right question for you. Let's say, what do you call them? Nexus 320. What's your stocking capacity?
Again, it depends on the
It's broken up, look.
Yeah.
And that's not a trick question, mate, to catch you out in any way, shape, or form.
It's testing your water, because you look at the tanks, go into mine, go into Rick's, go into yours, and you look at the size of the ponds with the amount of fish in there. They're not overstocked for a dealer, so why would that make it overstocked for a hobbyist? It depends on
this is what I've always said, mate. Right, when you think about it, if you've got a heavily stocked pond, as long as they're maintained, looked after, and fed well, conditions and water parameters are bob on. What difference does it make if it's a heavily stocked pond? Well, as dealers have that kind of situation.
Those fish are never going to achieve their potential.
No,
you're not. Their potential. But if you want a busy pond with hundreds of 12-inch fish in it,
you can keep them like that for as long as you want.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Yeah. And to be honest, if you look at how many farms and dealers that have high stock densities and yet have very few problems health-wise, we get customers coming in and they've got one pond with 20 fish and they're forever having problems, and yet we've got 120 ponds with tens of thousands of fish and seem to have less problems.
Yeah,
koi do like they're shellfish. They're quite happy.
They really do enjoy, being in a big numbers, don't they? That's what they always seem to be looking like they're thriving, don't they? When you see them in the environment where people go there, they throw in a load of pellets, and all of a sudden there's a mass wave of them come rolling out. There never really seems anything wrong with those fish, do they? They always look like they're thriving rather than just surviving.
Well, look at the gentleman from Glasgow.
Exactly, man. When he puts in those crab sticks, man, those fish go absolutely nuts, and that tank or that pond, vat, whichever it might be, that looks rammed.
Yeah,
but they all look good.
Yeah, look good and grow well.
Yeah.
But then it's the husbandry. He maintains the water. He does proper filtration, cleaning, maintains it, and that's what makes the difference.
But again, it's how long are you keeping the fish for? Obviously, he can't keep the fish like that long term, because there'll become a problem where they keep growing and you've got to thin them down, or you get to a crunch point
where your filter in your system is maxed out.
Yeah, and the thing that's the beauty of koi. It's not like you're keeping those fish for life. You can have a load of fish in your pond and then go, well, actually, this year I'm going to get rid of half of them and grow the other half faster. Next year I'm going to put 5 times more in and just have a really busy pond for a bit, see what I like. You can chop and change the stock densities and what you do with them. It's a different kind of scenario where you buy a dog, you got a dog for life.
Yeah,
that's it, isn't it? But with fish, you can rehome them, you can do different. That the environment you create from them gives you a completely different outlook on what those fish. We'll have one customer that might have 10 fish in a pond that size, and he wants to grow them all to 80 centimeters. The next person just wants every variety under the sun buzzing around in that pond, looking more like a dealer's tank, as it were.
Yeah.
There's no such wrong, is it?
See the appeal to that too, because working in that environment, it is a buzz to watch them but you're right. When you're doing it and you're there and you're growing them on, obviously like you do, we are doing, Matt does do, Crafty will get to a point where you'll have to finish stock out and move them as well. You get to a point where you have to thin them down. You have to move them into another environment so that they can still keep growing and get to the potential, or otherwise they top out, don't they? And then everything seems to slow down, and then problems start to persist from there on in.
Yeah, but I think I'm not so sure. If you've got a busy,
if you're pushing them to grow,
size, and you can restrict the growth, and you can have fish at 15 years old that are 12 inches long.
Yeah,
and still happy as Larry, and hundreds of them if you want. You don't need to be growing fish 10 centimeters a year, 20 centimeters a year, 30 centimeters. It's
bigger, better.
No,
it's that kind of same thing. It pulls us back to the last one, growth and all the rest of it, doesn't it?
I enjoy watching the early stages where you see all that development, all that growth, all that so much change to get to the point where when you've got a good one. That's for me, that's the most interesting bit. But for a lot of people, they keep their fish for donkey's years, and they want them to look nice for donkey's years. And the best way of doing that is actually keep them cooler and not growing that fast.
Yeah.
If you want to keep the quality, then you've got to restrict other things. Because if you're growing flat out, that quality life is not going to be as long.
Yeah. People love to feed their koi. We breeders give them what they need.
Yeah. Well, again, what they need depends what you do. We got a fish on the farm. We've got a fish that we're holding at a certain size. We've got a fish that we're trying to grow almost flat out. We've got a fish we're trying to condition for colour for sales or whatever. So you're doing different things with different batches of fish for what your end game is or what you're trying to achieve with them.
Yeah.
With people's ponds, it's there for enjoyment. So you want to see happy, healthy fish that are steadily improving. They don't have to be growing massive, but if every time you look at them, they're a bit brighter, the colour's a bit better, the pattern's a bit sharp, they're all going in the right way. It's what you do with the ones that then the Benny fails, or some people keep those fish for life, regardless. Other people, the minute the Benny starts to go, or the body line isn't as good as you want, or it's not growing like you want, it's off to someone else. Go and get another one.
Yeah. It's like Ryan's koi pond says there, the dealers are the problem, all the nice fish. Can't stop buying fish is the problem. I think a lot of people do fall into that trap, don't they? I think some people get to a point where they do get a bit silly with it.
I keep buying fish. I can't
I know.
Rick not coming to Japan. No.
You don't need to do, mate. You don't need to do. No, I'm not coming to Japan because I know I can't not buy fish because I'm buying enough fish over here in UK as it is.
But I buy a handful here. But if I went out to Japan, I'd buy boxes. You can't help it. They just, yeah. But that's the thing. If you're a koi keeper, you love looking at koi, and you see koi that you think, I want that in my pond.
Yeah. But do you look at it in that way, Rick? Do you think, I love that fish, I want that in my pond because I want to see what I can do with that and what I can produce from that, rather than I want to appreciate that and keep it and grow it on?
I'll answer it for you, Rick. I reckon Rick likes to buy, particularly Tosai, to see if he confirms what we already know, that he's got the eye to spot a good fish.
Yeah, but it's always, it's nice to buy them like the ground shows to do. I mean, I do Crafty's ground shows. That's something I enjoy doing because you're against other people. You pick your fish, and
is it so you can go, I won, or is it so you can go, yes,
I'm still waiting for the snack of food.
What I thought it would do.
But
or is it a bit of both?
To be fair, it's buying fish that you see that potential in, that you want to raise that potential to be a parent fish for me. So you're looking at something at 6 months old, and I'm thinking, what's that going to be when it's 4 or 5 years old? And is it going to be worth doing anything with down the line? And by growing them, the one thing you learn a lot of, if you can buy small fish that you grow in our environment, you learn a lot more, not only what they'll do, but it gives you a better idea of what their offspring will do. Because the amount of fish, you see a lot of auctions and a lot of people sell fish and they go, this is going to do this, this is going to do that, it's going to be amazing, this is going to be an absolute belter. And yet, if all of these fish become belters, where are they all? They ain't, are they? How many showers that look so full of potential that are going to be, by the time it's 4 years old, this fish should be amazing.
Yeah, well, I've bought a few shows that I thought were going to be amazing. They all tend to shit.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's how many of them don't develop the head pattern? How many of them the sumi starts to go wrong before the Benny's finished, or the Benny goes wrong before the sumi's developed, or the body shape goes? The reality of koi is, if you bought 10 of those fish that all look like they're going to be amazing, after 4 years, 1 or 2 of them might be.
Yeah, well, this is a good one for everybody to join in on. So what is the excuse? My first excuse, well, the water quality wasn't perfect. Second one, what food did you feed them? No. You know,
That's the thing, isn't it? It's not so much. It's a
many.
learning curve. Isn't
Best
it?
one, Matt, is the answer you can give him is shit happens.
Yeah, but if the better you get at choosing those fish, the higher your percentage results will become. So you'll get to a point where you can pick a 6-month-old fish and have an almost positive guarantee that that fish will do what you think. But there might be 10 that look very similar that won't. You've learned what you're looking for. The next customers come along, they haven't, and they've got to learn those mistakes because that's how it is.
So you don't tell people like Ryan's koi what those mistakes are.
No,
so,
to be honest,
so they come back each time and say, when you're on fish number 4, show number 4, Ryan, are you learning anything? Are you learning from these fish that you pay? If not, well, you need to take another free with you and study these ones this time.
Study them, exactly. And I think it's every bloodline's different. And the information out there, the stuff Ricky does, the information that he gives you about choosing fish, and he grows them on. And obviously he's good at it. He selects the best ones, he grows them on and goes, look, this is what you could have had.
Yeah, but he's just making it up as it goes along, though, isn't it, really?
But it's one of them, isn't it?
It's just numbers, isn't it? At the end of the day, when you start with 200 fish and you progressively watch them grow and grow and grow and grow,
yeah, and you pick
and
the
end up
better
with 50 fish or 10 fish at the end, it's just a numbers game. Is that skill or is that a numbers game?
But if you learn from that, so next time you just pick the 10 from the 200.
That's the one, mate, isn't it? That's the one. It's taking the process of what you've done, what you've experienced, and what you've seen from that, how it's developed, how they've grown, and learning from that and putting it back in time and time again. And that's the difference.
There was a post, it was a couple of years ago, and it came out, had this fish on there for sale, and it was wording like, this fish is worthy in a year's time to go to the national and win it. And honestly, this fish I want to say a tangier, but I'm sure it was a Maritan, and it just would not get there. You could just guarantee it would never, ever get there. And I messaged him, I said, mate, I don't understand how you can actually say words like that. And he said, well, you might not believe me, rightly so, but there's a lot of people out there that will. And I was like, it's shocking.
Yeah, it's just one of those that there's hype, there's honesty about what a fish can do, and there's honesty. You can have a fish that looks so full of potential from great parents, looks amazing. You'll think that is the one, and then 6 months later, that is just fit for the cat food bin because it hasn't done what you expect it to do, and yet its brother or sister that looked.
Mediocre now look absolutely
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's kind of the beauty of it. But you do learn, and also the more you know about bloodline, the type, the more. But unfortunately, if you don't see it with your own eyes, it's really difficult. Because if someone tells you a convincing story about what a fish is going to do, you believe them.
Because naturally, because it's convincing and it sounds like the truth.
And there's some people are good at it. But that's I don't know. Who knows? I'm still learning, and I'm with loads of them, aren't I?
Exactly, mate. That's the bit. I mean, Ryan and Mark are both saying they both think they could do with some counselling, and Ryan's saying, "How do Mark and myself apply for this?" I think when you've got to the point where you buy a lot of fish and you like a lot of fish and you're a koi-aholic, the only way to get over it is koi overexposure. So volunteering at a koi farm so that you're sick to death of them by the time you've done 16 weeks of grading through fish at this sort of size, that could be a cure, or it could be a further addiction. You could end up like Rick and applying for a full-time job and staying there forever.
Still doing it.
Yeah. I think you've got to have some. I think most people that keep koi, if you're into koi, it's got to be some level to an addiction, hasn't it? And I think we could probably all do with some kind of counselling at some point, because I think we've all bought more than what we really should. And it's that, that truest, no more truest saying, is it? Just one more coin. Will it make that much of a
It
difference?
goes to the next level, Coy, doesn't it? Because you could buy them and leave them somewhere else and never see them.
That's what I mean, yeah. There's some people out there that literally do. Never trust a dealer, Mr. Tate says.
It's just madness. So when you want to explain to people, they paid $5,000 for this fish and they left it out in Japan. People are like, but what do you mean? So they paid for a fish they'll never see, and I'm like,
you sound crazy, don't you?
I get a photo once a year in a video if they're lucky.
you literally when you can imagine some people's conversations where they must be sat around at family gatherings or whatever, and they say, "Yeah, I bought a lovely new coin, lovely new kahaku." Oh, did you? Yeah. Well, was it expensive? Well, yeah. Well, it was $6-7 grand. Where is it? It's in a mud pond. What do you mean it's in a mud pond? Yeah, it's staying out there for another 12 months so it gets bigger. Well, what happens if something happens to it? Well, it's one of those risks, isn't it? We must sound nuts.
Stare at it, and I've got to pay more money to ship it back now because it's bigger.
Yeah, now it's grown. I actually have to pay half its value again to get it back here. Where else would you get that kind of level of craziness in the hobby?
But most hobbies are like it, though, aren't they?
I just think so. I got.
Yeah, I think. Oh, you got your copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
I think there's some freebies to be had.
Oh.
If anyone wants a free one, I believe.
Humber koi.
No, not a humber koi. You got a make to do the koi.
No, he's done a YouTube on it. I saw it come through tonight.
Yeah, you've got a free mag. Shit, I'm gonna have to look now. Joe did tell me.
It was something about something.
Nice. This is 50 copies.
Has he made it? Is it a proper good solid back and front cover to it?
Yeah. This is this sort of trial one. Mr. Hadfield's in it quite a lot because it's not a real one. I just saw a whole page.
Is that a demo one kind of thing, or is that issue number one?
He's everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a demo one. So obviously the real magazine will come out next month.
I did watch his little video that he put out there, and I think he said it was 85% of the people that polled to say that they wanted a in your hands product.
Yeah, the
and I
digital
think that because personally for me, the reason why I think that is the case is the vast majority of people that keep koi are of an older, no disrespect, 89%, an older generation. And the older generation aren't so tech savvy. I think in years to come,
I disagree with you.
Are you still all about a magazine?
It's
I
true.
think, in fact, a lot of people that keep koi, if it's a nice magazine, they'll keep them and they can always refer back to it. It's something. I think the cheaper magazines don't work because they get binned off, and the digital format is so difficult to get into it. And unless there's an article you really want to read, you kind of just skip it, and that's kind of sad. It goes in.
What's your stats say for the GKP guys of followers of the age? Because I know mine was.
The majority of them are from like 50 to 60 or 45 to 65 kind of category, should I say? I think
they're not tech savvy. I mean, our WhatsApp group, we're the ones that ain't tech savvy. I can't keep up with it, man.
Just pick your finger. So you want to keep your. Vince went in and said, "Can you do us a favor? Can you post a link for the WhatsApp group? Pin it to the top of your Facebook group, mate, so it's always there. Pin it to the top, so you don't keep just don't keep posting it. Just pin it.
It's a carnage.
Carl, when you get in, just pin it, mate. Pin it to top, and then it'll stay there in that top section all the time, like Matt's little advert is on mine for his butyl liners and box roll liners. So it's pinned there, top. It's always seen all the time. Top post.
Think about that.
But yeah, I mean, good luck to him, man. I hope when you've done something, you've come up with a concept, come up with an idea. it's not like it's a new idea. He's not the only one that's doing it, but he's come up with the concept of what he wants to do. He's put it out there to his vote, and they've turned around and said, yeah, they want something. They want something in their hands. Let's just hope the masses buy it for them now, or otherwise it's crunch break time, isn't it?
Yeah. Like Liam's magazine, the quality of it is you want to keep it, don't you? It's not.
Yeah, and if Joe's does something along that line, then I can see. I mean, there's other people out there that did a magazine. It was a good magazine, and it was a collectible item, and then it stopped. And that's the ball kicker, isn't it? You know, you don't want to start collecting something and starting putting a brochure, a binder together and saving them all, and then it just cease to exist. Especially when you've paid for your subscription, because that's a bit of a kick in nuts again. But if Joe does it and gets a good copy out, is he going to do a monthly version of every week, month in, month out?
I don't know what he's doing, to be fair.
No, I don't even myself. But I think a proper good. I can understand it. I mean, I used to buy Mini World magazine, and I had loads of them, and then I just thought, yeah, they can go in recycle bin, and I got rid of them all. But
Does Playboy count?
Yeah, you got a whole stack of them. It's what your bed's made of.
They're not just attic insulation, Matt. No. But yeah, I do. To a degree.
It's the problem, isn't it? So obviously, Point Talk or whatever, the magazine was good, but it needs to be financially viable. Otherwise, it doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, Joe's put this together, and best one in the world. I hope it works for him. But it's obviously it's probably going to be this sort of quality. You're going to be like a 10 quid magazine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which
is that a bad thing? I don't think it is.
No, I think you're
if
better
you're getting it, one. I think we got there 6 issues a year every 2 months. That that's not. It's no, is it?
No, and I think if the quality's there, and obviously the advertising helps pay for the magazine as well as does buying it. So you've got 2 streams of income, whereas this digital one was purely funded by the advertisers on it, which obviously it's one of those, isn't it? He needs to make a living. If it's good enough, let's hope it works.
Yeah, damn right. At the end of the day, follow your dream, man, and he's done it, and I think good on him for having a go. Why the hell not? Let's hope it's a proof in the concept and it actually does take off for him.
There we go. Little plug for you, Joe. I'll have the front page cover for free next time.
So there was an ulterior motive behind it. Right then, what about this one? Is chasing show quality koi ruining the hobby?
Because I think the hobby is everyone's different in the hobby, and you go through different phases almost of it. So like the show phase is a lot of people will probably never do it. Those that do it perhaps only do it for a few years. There's not that many that do it constantly that keep doing it. But
I have loads of people comment on it when you ask them what's the quality price bracket size you after, and normally I almost guarantee the response will come back saying not show quality.
Yeah, because they want the slightly cheaper version.
Paul Cunningham says it's ruining me.
Fair play on Paul. One at the All Japan without a Asagi that Ryan sourced for him.
Yeah,
mate.
But do you think the average pond keeper, the more they see people doing what Paul's doing and others out there, they aspire to have those types of quality fish in the pond and take away the fun out of chasing after a show-winning fish or a show-quality fish for an average Joe Blogs pond?
I didn't understand that.
No, I didn't either. That was like,
if somebody starts chasing, everybody looks for it, and I hear it every time, and every time it just makes me think, what fucking difference does it make? Does that fit? Does it come with a cert? Does it, is it of a highest top quality that I can get? Does it come with a cert? Is it going to, if it comes with a cert, does it automatically mean it's going to be a top-notch fish? Does it, when it comes with a cert, does it make it show-worthy? Do I need a show-worthy fish for my everyday budget pond or my everyday garden pond? If I'm never going to show them, does perfection have to be achieved?
I think the word show quality shouldn't. Okay, in the top echelons, it's to do a price, but in a lot of stuff, it's not. You can pick up a fish for 200 quid and be show quality if it's right and the size fits. You could buy a Tosai Asagi that could be top end show fish in those smaller categories or whatever. So it's not necessarily budget related, but I think people that aren't confident in what they're buying, a certificate and a dealer saying it's show quality gives them the confidence to spend 500, 600, whatever on a fish, because it's got the paperwork and it's got that, because they might not know the difference or see the difference. If that's what they want, they're happy with it. At the end of the day, everyone that builds a pond probably wants the best quality koi they could possibly get in there. And obviously that generally comes at a cost, doesn't it? So they want the best cost for their budget or the best fish for their budget. I think
that makes sense, Matt.
It is.
And I'm not saying that these are just topics to discuss. It's not me saying, oh God, everybody goes out there and wants. But I hear a lot of times when you see fish going up for sale or whatever, and do these come with a cert? It's almost like that. If you buy a fish, you couldn't get a show quality fish, or you couldn't get a class fish, however you want to categorize it, or the best fish, unless it came with a cert. And I don't always think, because somebody's just put it in there, I'm not embarrassed. I love my 50 quid fish. I know people that have paid less than 50 quid for a fish, and I've shown it, and it's got awards. I don't.
I know somebody that hasn't paid a penny for the fish, and we know who that is, don't we?
Exactly, that's my point, though. I mean,
I've given away. So every time I've got a fish that's show quality, I just give it away. It saves me, doesn't it?
When you think about it, it's not about a caveat, though, is it? Give a fish away, but on one condition: you take it to the show.
Now then, Joe, all the best, mate. Rick has just give you a little plug, and we have just had a little talk about it, mate, and all the very best with the upcoming.
Because he missed all my spiel about it.
He did, mate. Yeah, he's literally just come on and said, "Now then,
I started it, Joe."
Because Joe, if you go back 10 minutes, watch and then skip back forward, you'll see everything that we just said. And all the very best, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, you're doing what your people and your public ask for. So I think it's a good thing, mate. And I can see the appeal. Personally, it's not the same, is it, reading it on a mobile phone or reading it? I mean, for me on a PC, I can spread it across 2 monitors and put it all out there and spread it all out and look at it and think, well, look at you. I like that. I like that. But at the same time,
matches up.
at the same time, I can enjoy reading it from a magazine too. So I can see the appeal, and also making it as such as a collector's item too. So yeah, I can see the appeal to it.
Yeah. Wow. Do you know what I find a bit weird, right? Off subject here, but the digital format, the magazine, when an advert, so you read a page, whatever, and then an advert pops up, and it's an irritant. It makes you angry. It's like when you're on the computer and an advert pops up. But in a magazine, it doesn't do that. The advert is there.
You just go like that.
That's because of your lack of knowledge of the internet, Rick.
Yes, I know. But on Joe's magazine, you don't have the adverts out. They're part of the magazine. So in a magazine, you're going through it and you see, oh look,
another advert. Rip it out for a bit because you're going to rip it. Are you going to rip it out because it makes you angry?
No, because in a magazine it doesn't make you.
Now it's glossy and shiny, so it's appealing.
I could go there and buy fish, or I could. That it's different, but for some reason, when it's on a digital format, as soon as something advertising pops up, it's just that makes me angry. I don't quite.
But in a magazine, it entraps you. It's like a fly.
In a magazine, I look at it and think, EA have got a new line of Tempest out or something. I mean, it's interesting, but if it popped up when you're online, you'd be like, get that advert off my screen. I'm reading that.
And I get that too. I understand it. I do get it. I get where you're coming from. Well, back when we were going back to topic, then just buying koi for enjoyment or buying your koi for potential.
I think that's the same thing.
That's why I'm trying to get back to the topic. It is the same thing, isn't it? Because you could just buy any old fish and put them in. But if you're buying fish for potential, are you buying it to potentially what? Another showpiece or whatever? Can you make the hobby a lot more intense, a lot more frustrating, a lot more disappointing if the fish that you really wanted it to achieve that status doesn't?
Yeah, that's going to frustrate me.
The vast majority don't. And that's why you keep coming back for more, don't you?
Or should you be buying fish because you particularly like that pattern, that fish, or buying it because it's whatever fish should be? You know, a textbook against your eye.
Eye of the beholder, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
How many people love koi that? Yeah.
And we say this, like, particularly with the grow-ons, when you buy them and there's one that's almost finished at a small toe size, and you guarantee that your first customer coming in looking at that bowl will go, that one there. Yeah. But in reality, it's probably the worst one that you could buy.
Mate, you've just done yourself out hundreds and hundreds of sales now, mate. I think now everybody knows the secret is out. You've screwed us all. The industry's doomed.
No, but it is. It's like me next week. I'm looking to buy fish, not just because they got the potential to become a show-winning fish. I'm buying the fish because I know my customers are going to like it. Because it catches my eye.
If you've got 10 sheros in a bowl and one of them's got a nice head pattern and nice balance fins, and that pattern, even if it hasn't got the best body in the bowl, you're going to buy that fish because you know your customers are going to buy that fish.
Yeah.
As opposed to the one that's completely underdeveloped and you've got a really hard sell, when you might have some customers that would go with it.
Do you think that's Tony's just put in a comment there? Always buy because you like it. You will care for it better.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, yeah, if you don't like it,
why would you buy it?
Actually, to take that back, I've got a fish, but that's for a parent fish I don't like. But
I mean, I've got fish that I liked when I bought them that I don't really like now. Well, no, that's wrong. Not. I dislike less than I did.
No, they're not. They didn't meet your expectations. It's like your kids, isn't it? You don't like the one that didn't reach.
I'm not answering that one.
I don't know. That's the thing, isn't it? I think that's why the hobby's good, isn't it? Because everyone's got a different angle to it. And you can go around to somebody's pond, you just think, well, I don't get why you're keeping just 10 kahakus in a pond that are just great big lumps. For some people, that is an absolute dream. For the next person, that's like, well,
I think everybody. That's the crazy bit about koi keeping, isn't it? Everybody does it in their own individual, unique way.
Yeah.
Whether it be right or wrong for one opinion to another, most people do it their own way. There are lots of people that go around or go down a similar avenue, but there's different aspects that they have within it that they do different to what other people would do, regardless. There's nobody that, like you've always said, there's no one pond that's the same, is it?
No. And you get people like Ollie, like that's going with Matt. I think his greatest joy of the pond is probably the tinkering with the filtration and the stuff he can do to make the water better and the fish happier. But it's the mechanical tinkering that's probably his greatest highlight of the pond. That's a different aspect to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people love the
tinkering. The tinkerers
pieces. Christ, if Vince hasn't just taken his filter apart and rebuilt a new one every week, it's something.
Never, I can understand that. I used to love taking shit apart when I was a kid to see if I could get it back together again.
Someone else. It's that engineering, tinkering, always trying to find a better solution that actually once you've got an all singing, all dancing pond that does it all, it's like, well, nothing to do there now.
I remember my mum and dad going absolutely ballistic, absolutely mental, like 3rd or 4th of January, and I took my new Wi-Fi to pieces to see how it all went together. And it took me about another 2 months, but I got it back together and I got it working again. But there were bits everywhere, man. That were a lot of pieces. But yeah, perhaps maybe not the best idea of things to do, but where's that gone? Did you just unsend that?
Yeah, because I can't find the original. I thought
I'd done something.
I'll explain it. So this fish was just a tancho, and over the winter it's done this, and it had no sumi at all on it.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have to wait for it to come back again now because he took it away from me.
But that's
sending you a message
good thing
and
if
then it
a
went,
fish
"Oh, right,
changes.
well."
If it changes for the better, great. But they don't always change for the better.
No, they fucking don't, do they?
They don't all do what you expect.
So you bought that with no sumi?
No sumi, and it didn't have. There was nothing on it that showed it.
But have you not got the one before? You
No,
can't just
that's
show the one after.
That's why I took it back, because I was trying to find that one and I can't find it, and it seems pointless saying. But
It was a Shiro Muji, wasn't it?
It didn't have any sumi on it at all.
Did it have no spot,
No penny
nothing?
and nothing.
No, nothing, nowhere, none
What?
at all.
Hang about. It had no Benny spot either.
No, I had the penny.
I'm going to say.
That was, so I said, it was just as plain, boring tancho.
You had me then for a minute, Rick. I was going to say, well, that's like rocking horse shit, isn't it? If you've just gone from that, then Benny's come through, and then Sumi as well. Yeah, never mind. Koi Kick says, I think subsequently, most are buying in the hope of buying a diamond in the rough. It's so addictive. It is, man. That's the thing. It really is. And I'd agree with that, mate. I think you buy something hoping that it's, ooh, what's this little gem going to become? Sometimes it's, you sit there and think, well, wow, it did what I thought it would do. Or other times you think, shit, that was way off. Well, and I think the vast majority of us are way off until you get to that curve of understanding more and appreciating more and being able to read a fish more, which is something that takes a lot of years of studying and watching and progressing. And to do that, you've just got to buy more fish and keep
buying them.
buying them, haven't you? You've got to keep buying them.
But
So
that,
do you think that's why?
That's what you're doing.
that's us humans, though, isn't it? Everything that we do, we want to do better, achieve better.
Ooh, deep.
Well, we do. It's no different to you, Rick. You want to achieve better. Gaz wants to achieve better. Whatever job you're doing, you want to achieve better, to earn more money, to succeed better.
Fair enough.
And it's the same for any hobby.
We are going deep then. We're not talking koi, we're talking life.
So, in the sense of going back to the koi, that everyone's looking for that special koi, do you think that's why showers are probably almost the most sought after and sold fish? You think of a Sankey and a show, they're both red, black, and white fish, but showers tend to sell a lot better as younger fish because the potential for change to make the change is so much greater in a shower. You could get that, but a Sankey's a Sankey. You can look at it and its future pretty much. Whereas a shower, they change massively. So you've got a lot more chance of picking up a shower for 75 quid somewhere that becomes a really good fish. Whereas a Sankey, generally, the dealer's not going to sell a fish cheap, or the breeder to start with is not going to sell a fish cheap. But showers, you've got that. Shiros as well, to a point. You've got that element of change that can make or break the fish. And I think that's why sales of showers are just, I think they're a lot easier. It's that story that goes with it, isn't it? It's going to do this and it's going to do that. It might not.
But Yeah, I agree that a lot. If you can see, or you've got a knowledge of that particular line, and you've got an understanding of how they develop, some might call it a little bit of a spin to say, but if you're honest and you say if or when, or if the
when that develops a really good pattern.
Exactly, that's what I mean. If the Sumi comes and develops into that, what looks like is going to be there as Manuary coming through on its head, I think that's a better way to say if the pattern does what I believe it will do, as opposed to when this comes, or this will come, or that will come. And you can't really predict any of them, can you, really? Because
no, but the difference between a Sankey and a show is massive in terms of
showers are hard as shit, man. I don't get them. I want to learn more about showers, because everyone I've had are ones that I think I can identify what it's going to do. I'm probably already near enough done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing with shows, isn't it? So many of them
are done young,
do stuff quite crazy that it can ruin them. It can make them amazing, but it's if you know enough about a Sankey, you can pretty much from 20 centimeters, 15 centimeters long, whatever, it's futures.
You know where it's going.
Pretty much, yeah. You ain't buying that fish cheap. Whereas, a shower you could buy for a tenth of the price, it could actually turn out to be a worldie, but the vast majority don't. I'm just putting out
let's face it, not every child that's born becomes a model or a supermodel, do they? We've all got the potential, but some of us like pie.
I don't know about that. If you look at the parents, I'm not sure.
Good morning,
Matt. What are you buying in Japan?
Yes, that's the question that I did have up.
The question just sat there floating.
Well, I have.
I was waiting for him to.
There's three things that are off my list.
Tamasaba?
No. One-sided, one missing pectoral.
One-eyed.
One eye. And Gromo.
I'll tell you what, the first farm you go to, are going to have the best Garoma you've ever seen, and you'll be like, oh. And Ryan will be going, if you don't buy these, you're a mug. These are the best in Japan this year. They are brilliant. And you'll be like, oh, no.
Are you not a fan of the Gromo?
Sorry?
You're not a fan of the Gromo?
I am. I love them. I think just the pattern on them, the scale is just awesome. But I buy what the customers want and go and buy the amount that I had this year.
Right. Is that how you see that you do it? When you I'm going to take your question down, Paul, but he's going to get around to it, but I want him to answer this one. Right. Rick and Matt, when you're looking at fish and you're selecting fish, are you really picking what your customers want? Or are you picking what you think your customers will want?
Yeah, definitely. Picking
which? Not hang about. That was two questions. Which?
First one, picking what my customers want.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but Matt does. No,
how do you know what they want till they walk in and say, have you got any so-and-so's?
Because you know exactly that if a Shiro hasn't got a head pattern, it's a hard sell. If a Hitsuri isn't clean, it's a hard sell.
But I mean, that's, a fish without any fins is a hard sell.
You're buying fish that you know that you're going to sell.
Are you buying fish, Matt, then, for example, are you buying fish that people have come in and said, I really would like you to get some of this type in, this or this, that, no. And that's what you're specifically looking for?
No, they are on the background burner. So, yes, I will be looking for them. But at the same time, if I go into one of the farms and they haven't got the fish that I want, but I can see a collective, say on this side, a number of these that I can buy to make up a box. And I know those are, and those are, and they're good fish, yeah, I will buy those fish in the hope that when I come back to the UK, that my eye's been good enough that I'm going to sell them. But I certainly
you better borrow these, mate, when you go. Take them with
yeah.
you. I got a set.
I went and got a set today.
But it's dangerous to go over as a dealer and you've got 50 grand in your pocket and you go over there and then you get sucked into, you love showers and you love underdeveloped fish that could be good. So you come back with 50 grand worth of showers that your customers don't want. You're screwed, isn't you?
Yeah, and the Ghost Sankey, the Ghost Sankey, I would probably say that every dealer I spoke to has all said the same. The Ghost Sankey this year was a hard sell. So why would I be going over there filling my boots up with Ghost Sankey? Because
you've got to have some, though, haven't you? Because it's the traditional piece, isn't it? But do you want tons of them, or would you rather go with a shitload of metallics, or other single colours and stuff?
Yeah,
and try following the trend of the fads.
That's the problem. Personally, I don't like the metallics, so it makes it really hard for me to buy something that, yes, my customer's going to want, but I'm looking at them and I don't particularly like them.
But the thing is, you're going out as a business to buy stock that you can sell as easily as possible for the most money as possible. That's what you do as a business. Going out there, and if you go out there like I kind of did and buy what I want to buy, and if you don't sell any because you've got.
Matt's going to go over there to buy fish, not that he can sell for the most possible for a reasonable markup. That's how you put it across, Matt. For a reasonable markup.
A reasonable markup.
Truthfully, I do it just for the love of it. So if it costs me a tenner, I'll sell it for a tenner.
There you go. From the horse's mouth. I remember that.
So if you buy stuff over there for a tenner, it costs you 180 quid to come back here, you'll still sell it for a tenner. I see a flaw in your business plan, Matt.
I do it for the love of it.
Deductible would be fine.
Yeah, no, but it's the same as anything, though, isn't it? It's a car dealer. Car dealer's not going to go out there and fill the yard up with a car that doesn't sell just because you like them. You got to go with what the customers are after. And every day this week and last week.
At the end of the day, you go to each farm and you go, shit, they're good value. That's a good price for those fish. That's a good quality, whatever. You might not get what you want because they might not be out there. You might come back with a load of stuff different to what you had on your head. But at the minute, certain stuff, Aragoki, all that crazy stuff, it's mental.
Yeah. Well, I got to buy. Hopefully, if we pull it off, got to buy 2 big Aragokis this year, big ones. So it'd be interesting to see what they end up like. If we can find
bigger.
Them. That's the problem. We got to find them.
Oh, you'll find them, mate. There's plenty of them out there, isn't there? I think it's got to a point now where the Aragoki and this, let's say, weird and wonderful, the different appearance or different appealing fish seem to be doing extremely well in comparison to what they would have done years gone by.
Yeah, but the problem is with the Aragoki, when did it really reappear? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So, but to go and find a good 70, 80 centimetre Aragoki, that ain't going to be easy.
Yeah, Marihero's got loads. You'll be fine.
There is a fair few places where you can get them, I would have thought.
It's how much you pay for them's the problem, isn't it? That's the kicker, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. It's been about for a few. It's been a growing trend for probably 5 or 6 years. The weird and wonderful type stuff, maybe even more than that. But like I say, finding anything could be difficult. If you just went out even looking for a good big shear at Surrey in the Gap, it's not that easy to find one, is it? Unless you take a trip to a specific breeder for something, and then you're going to pay a chunk.
I just went back on comments. I thought, bastard, missed that. Kai Kick says that's true. It's a never-ending, unfulfilling hobby. If you aren't careful, you got to enjoy the simple moments. I'm getting super critical, which is almost killing my hobby.
But you do get. So a lot of our broodstock come from a particular hobbyist that kind of fell into. The more he learned, the better fish he brought, the cost of those fish become, and he got to a point where he just couldn't, even with a £5,000 budget per fish, couldn't get what he wanted, and sort of fell out of love with the hobby almost because he'd learned he wanted those top end fish. He didn't show them, but they had to be fish that had the body structure, the qualities. He knew what he wanted, just couldn't get them for the sort of budget. And the amount of money that guy spent was insane. For most people, you wouldn't even dream of it. And it's like, I can't get, you have to buy younger and younger and younger fish. So you start out with okay, I'll spend £5,000 on a fish. Start out buying Sandseye. Then you have to buy Nisai because you can't get the quality in Sandseye for that money. And then you start to buy Tozai because you can't get the quality. So you then start chasing a dream. Those fish, more of them go wrong because they're younger.
Yeah.
And you suddenly find yourself, shipping out tens of thousands of pounds for not enjoying it anymore. And that does happen. And that's where you've got to just realign your enjoyment for it and what you're trying to achieve. And if you are trying to achieve 90 centimetre top end Kahaku,
Give up.
It's difficult. It's truly difficult. That's what we're
Well, that is a question. The Koimum question: do you already own your unicorn? If not, what is it and why? And I'm going to say, like, the unicorn being the rare fish that we all want.
No.
What is it? The rare one that you want, and why? Or rare for whatever reason it might be. One that fucking grows in a cold pond. That's what I want.
To be fair, I've had a couple of fish that I would say were my unicorns. I had a goshki once, the most amazing big goshki I've ever seen. Spawned easy and had bad eggs every time, and that was like one of those. We've done it four times. We spawned that fish, and it's like, at what point do you just keep trying? Don't you? Maybe this year. That was such a rare beast. ATCM, the most amazing gosh we've ever had, and it's like, but you get to the point where it develops eggs, it spawns easily, but no viable offspring again and again and again. And you're just like, that's just.
I don't have my unicorn, and it's something I've always wanted. I have always wanted a really, really good Benikikikuru. I've always really wanted one, and I haven't got one. And I think the biggest problem that I'm going to have is the price of the one that I want. I won't be able to afford it because I've seen really good ones when I were out there with Ryan. I've seen really good ones that Ryan's bought. I've seen good ones that he's shown us, and we've had come in, and they ain't cheap for what I want. And that for me will probably be the drawback and the holdback. Will be getting the one that I really want, and then being able to maintain it and keep it without becoming that rugby ball.
That's a good point, that is, Gaz, because you go and buy a fish that is pushing your budget. It is extremely good fish. Have you got the pond for that fish to go into?
Yeah.
To be fair, yours for a Benikiko, you could buy younger fish that will become you've got a chance. Because
that's what I mean. It's a realistic uniform.
If you're thinking your dream fish is a 50 centimetre worldie of a Benikiko, you could buy younger fish and you buy 10.
Lovely metallic, lustre gunmetal to it with that stunning red Benny laid over top of it, and that that good body structure. Yeah, they're beautiful. I think for me Yamabuki has always been my favourite fish, and I'm happy with the ones that I've got. Don't get me wrong, but the Benikiko has always been something that I've always really wanted since I first got more into it. that's something that I've always really, and there are other fish that I'd like as well, but that's the one that I would like one from Aoki and all.
But that's the problem. You probably only got 2 breeders that do them to the level you want. So you're already limited, and they're both
that's it.
popular breeders, aren't they?
To get it. But Crafty did join then. He did come on, but it were upside down. I know he's upside at well, like, but I didn't expect him to be upside down with his camera, but he dropped back off again. So hopefully he'll come back on.
Ryan's up as well, wasn't he? Did he not pop up hello?
He did. He has. He sent me. He just sent me a picture of his new pet as well. I'm like, have a look at this banger. Sure, he won't mind if he does.
Right, no one wants to see Ryan showing his fish off anymore.
It's only one. It says my new pet.
Mate, that's quite cool, isn't
it? That's nice, isn't it? That. And hopefully it goes this way, and there's a video. Crafty San. Ah, right way up.
Hey.
Keep your voice down, Crafty. You got neighbours. It's 5 a.m.
Fuck them.
Are you in the same room? 501 or whatever.
That's nice, isn't it?
No, I'm in a fucking little dungeon this time, mate.
You look healthy.
Just out of bed, innit?
You literally just. Is that fresh?
Fresh out of bed. Quick splash on the face, t-shirt on, bollock still swinging.
Still beating.
You can tell, Mel. I know you can hear it in your voice. Like that's literally. I've just woke up and I've had aircon on all night and I can't breathe.
If you need to smack it, Crafty, smack it.
I've heard your stories, Matt.
So what? Go on then, Matt. Oh, well, we can ask Crafty. Well, yeah. What's your unicorn fish? And have you got? What was it?
What do you mean by that? I don't understand what you mean.
What is your dream fish?
Dream fish. If you haven't got it, what is it and why?
Come from size.
If you haven't already got it,
that's hard, isn't it?
It's just hard. Well, I found it quite easy actually because it's something I've wanted for quite some years now. So it's something.
Hint, Ryan. It's my birthday soon.
Old bastard.
Is Ryan watching? Is he?
He was, mate.
He's next door, mate.
He's well. Either that or he's just passed back out again.
Yeah, that's what tends to happen here, in and out of slumber. I don't know, man. For me, I think it's just one particular fish.
Yeah. But is this something that you aspire to have, whether it be from a certain breeder or a certain variety, or a certain type?
Right, okay.
Your unicorn. Unicorn. Yeah, that's right. I nearly said unicorn again.
To be able to, a lot of people's dream, and to be able to get that fish that you can see as a tozai and then develop to be that one big masterpiece. You know, generally a Sankey for me. But to be able to see it as a tozai and then take it through to its full, like your ability to get it to its full potential is the dream for me. Yeah. Get it cheap, but also being able to select it, you know, like lucky enough to be in Japan and I.
Picking a young one and then bringing it home and thinking, right, that's in, and 4 years later, actually being an 80 cm fish that absolutely did everything you expected to do, kind of thing then.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think 80 cm's lived the dream a bit for me.
Well, yeah.
Well, it is a dream, isn't it? Yeah, so. Yeah. Yeah, to be able to, you know, when you see the fish like over here, mate, like, I mean, we visited Dionysia yesterday because I wanted to go and see the GC while it's back here, like back in Dionysia. And although that thing is like immense, there was a Sankey in there, mate, that I just would have took over the GC every day of the week. You know, it was just like perfect. When in my eye, I was like, that's just what a Sankey should be, man. It was fucking insane. So
you don't just bowl it up and say, I'll have it. They're only cheap. You could afford it. You could have had it.
There weren't no staff knocking about, mate, so I bowled it up myself.
Same thing, mate.
Amazing, isn't it? Could you imagine that over here?
Josh would do the same with me.
£1 million fish swim around, not a member of staff in sight, you could just catch it up and off you go.
We had it loads, didn't we, Vic?
It's mental.
Yeah.
Over here, it's just not going to happen, is it?
It's really not.
You think that fish house, you walk in, you've got the ground, you've got the GC, £1 million fish, you've got another 10 fish in there pushing the same boundaries.
Different, Vince. You've already got one, haven't you? But yeah, I know what you're saying.
10 million quid's worth of stock, and there's not bowls, nets, you could just go and help yourself.
Mate, yeah. Yeah, so
Still
true.
would get back in the suitcase, though, wouldn't you, Craft?
You know,
Yeah.
What's yours then, Matt? What's your unicorn?
Something really different. Well, not really different, but probably an Algo Kikahaku.
I mean, to be fair, they're not very common, are they?
No, and then
I've got plenty going.
smart. They look smart in the window as well, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's just reminded me of something. I heard you and Vince the other day, and you said you were going to cross Kahaka with something to make something else with laterals Benny.
Kosui.
A what?
Kosui and snow. So cross the Deutsch Kahaki with a Shishui, or I'm going to go one step, cross it with a Gimrin Asagi that I know's got Shishui.
Kosui.
Yeah.
Kosui.
Christ, your boss showed a lovely one on a video the other day. Do you not watch?
My boss did.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Yeah.
He's getting it today at Yamaguchi.
Hosakai
He's
do good
getting
one.
it today at Yamaguchi.
No, Hosakai do good Kosui.
I've never heard of that before. Oh,
You lost him.
I've never
to
heard
do
that before, to be fair. Never heard of that type.
Yeah, Ryan's got a really good Sanzo one at Hosakai. And Hosakai do some. So basically, it's a red and white fish, but the red runs laterally. So it's like a Shishui pattern, but it's red and white. Because it's
Right. You need to get me a picture of that, and if you've got one, send it me so I can have a look at it at work tomorrow, whenever, whatever. I'd like to have a look.
So because I've got
Sounded interesting. That's why I'd ask.
Yeah, I got a big Gimrin Snow Asagi that's got a Shishui parent. That's how I create the Gimrin Shishuis and whatever.
Yeah.
If I cross in a Deutsch Kahaki with it, I can create potentially sort of Snow Asagis that will stay white and red, and Kosui that will stay an Aragoki Gimrin to boot.
I think we might have had some of those in before, and I just didn't know what they were.
Yeah, well, you would have done because Ryan's been buying from Hosakai for a few years, hasn't he? So yeah, Matt's got a couple of good ones. I was up the other day sorting for his fish for him. Now he's not there; he buggered off. And it was one I was quite tempted with, but I left it there for now. I remember sorting out as a tow side when we were out there. So he's back. Look,
Fucking internet is wank, man. I've made a YouTube video. I edited it all yesterday just before I went out for dinner. Put it on upload.
It's still uploaded now.
I'll just cancel it. I'm just gonna have to have it on upload all day today while I'm out. So
shit.
Fucking
Is it that bad?
And yet the Wi-Fi. Crafty phoned me up this morning before I even had breakfast. All right, lad, do you want some Pokemon?
Can you not hotspot it from your mobile 5G?
Yeah, but it's still no good from inside the hotel, mate.
Yeah.
So
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, what were all them about? What were all those machines? What were in all them?
Pokemon's, mate.
Oh, mate, the Japanese
There were
like
tons of those machines, like you put a couple of quid in or whatever and turn dial and something drops out. There was fucking hundreds of them in that building.
You wouldn't shit like this as a camera. Sorry.
Oh, that's worth winning.
Oh, worth it then. Yeah.
Not really. It's but they have like little little things they hang off their bags and that, mate. All the kids.
Pandora rings.
Teeming with kids in there, mate. It was just fucking.
Yeah, you could hear them all in the background talking and giving it,
There was one little group of girls around this one machine. You see them feed the machine with a couple of quid, like turned it, one fell out. She was like, because they're like act like proper. And then next thing you know, mate, they keep turning and the balls just keep coming, mate. And the Japanese, mate, are not normally the sort of those like, and you can see them all like looking at each other, and then they thought, "Fuck it, let's have them."
So they kept dispensing.
Yeah, mate, they emptied the machine out. Like, it's cool.
You got to go to these places, don't you? I took Matt to the Pokemon in Tokyo. In the we were like, what do we do? How do we even buy them? I don't even get it.
Man, I didn't know either, mate. You know, last time I was here, I got them. They rationed me to 1 pack.
Yeah, they had that when we went in there, 1 pack per person.
We took everyone with us into the going in circles, buy 1 pack each.
That's the way to do it.
Mad. So it's going well, mate.
But,
some of the fish you've been crafty, looking good.
Mate,
thank you, mate.
Mate, there's some bangers in them bowls, mate. There's been some really nice stuff in there. It's about time we start picking some belters.
Was it Yoshino that you went to? Crafty.
Oh,
Yeah,
well
been
done,
to
mate.
Yoshino.
Where
Where's we been?
Izumi.
McDonald's.
Izumi. Started off at Izumi. Got some really nice yammies from there. Ampit ones as well. Then went over to Odakan. Picked up a real good bowl full of Tamura certified bits from there as well as some Odakan's own bigger pieces. They was Odakan prepared a little pom for me when I got here, so I picked up off there as well. Can't you sleep, Jack? Yeah, and then day 2. Well, that was only half a day because by the time I got here about 11:15. So literally left my house at 3:30, into work for 4:30. Picked up at 4:30 by our lift that then took us to Heathrow Airport. So we was at Heathrow Airport at 6:30. Flew at 8:30. Obviously, a 15-hour flight. Got off there, which is 7:30 over here, and then got a taxi, then the Shinkansen. So by the time I got here, it was about 11:15. Then at 11 o'clock, we was in the cab, and then straight went and had something to eat as well, and then from there straight away. So in Harford, like literally,
In 24 hours.
So your ass hadn't hit bed until like 36, 40 odd hours after travel. Oh,
yeah. So
God,
like literally, like end to end, there weren't no stop and have a kip or anything.
Did you sleep on flight or all?
Absolutely, I did, but you can't really ever call it a sleep on the flight, can you?
No, you
don't
can't.
really sleep.
Somebody comes round and disturbs you and tells you to fasten your seatbelt just as you fall asleep like they did
No,
with
they
me.
don't. They don't on Japan Airlines.
Swear to God,
mate.
mate. I just got my
I
head
was
down.
having a kip and everyone had been served their dinner.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I woke up to the smell of food thinking, I missed it.
I had that 2 courses, didn't I, Rick, on the way home? Literally got on the plane. Before the plane took off, I was sound asleep. It was like, that's it. I've done my job. I'm finished.
I'm stressed over.
Sound asleep, and I missed 2 meals by the time I woke up.
Yeah.
God,
Well, when I woke up, mate, it was a little bit bad. Well, funny story, right? Got on the plane. There was a nice old boy, English. He said to me, "It's the first time you've been to Japan?" I was like, "No, mate." He's like, "Oh, it's my first time." I said, "What? You travelling alone?" He must have been about 65. He went, "Yeah."
Mixed well then, Crafty.
Huh?
You mixed well with him then.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's having a little natter and that. So I sat there, I thought, oh, cool. Not a bad bit of company for the flight because you always get some, like, I normally get a dribbly kid or something like that. So they just took off. No, just before we took off, we had a few empty seats and the back row was empty. And he said, right.
oh man, that's
said,
it. Good night.
He said to me, he went, right, I'm going to move over there, mate. because you're quite a big lad and you might need a bit more food. He can't. I'm gonna fucking fill him in, like. I mean, yeah, but yeah. So yeah, but anyway, I was like that. Then I was happy as Larry. So that's probably why I slept a bit more on the plane. But yeah, day 2. Where did we go? Oh, seems like a long time ago now. Can't remember. Oh yeah, Yoshino. We went up to Yoshino.
That's a whole day going up there, isn't it? It's a fucking nightmare.
The thing is that the snow is it's been so bad.
Is it bad?
Fuck yeah. It's been so bad, snow bad. Yeah, what's happened is the dealers are having to they're having to like literally do a lot of snow clearance, which is stopping their preparation of fish, etc. Right, so it's got quite slow to get through, but at Sushi and Ryan and that they've worked quite hard and been putting a lot of pressure on actually. So yeah, after Yoshino, getting up to Yoshino, like main roads were all right, but then when you start coming off road, like into the mountain areas, real bad. I mean, one of Yoshino's fish houses you couldn't even get into. The snow had literally just engulfed it. All you could see was a little roof hanging out the top of it. So yeah, so that's how bad it is up there. But what they do when they're clearing the roads, they have like they have a machine that sort of it's a little bit like a combine harvester. It sort of like pulls the snow up and then blows it.
Yeah.
Right, and they create a big mound of snow, and then the next machine sort of comes along and it goes down the side of the mound that they've done, and they create a little straight edge wall, but that wall's about fucking 18 foot tall. Jeez. So it's just like being in a bobsleigh tunnel everywhere you go. You can't see anything that side and that side, which sort of ruins the view a little bit. But the snow management's excellent.
But life goes on, doesn't it, Crafty, over there?
Yeah, well, it has to, doesn't it? They're used to it, aren't they? They've got all the equipment to deal with the conditions. So, but where did we go? Day 2, up to Yoshino, and then picked out some really nice Sankey and a couple of little kahakus. But I went up there solely for Sankey. And manage that, and then he was a bit of a knob and dripped some pieces underneath my nose, which I couldn't say no to be perfectly honest. So, the good old drug was there. So, looking, and it was like, right, what about that piece and that piece? It's that. But if you take that, and that, then it's this. So
you bought a load of kahaku, didn't you?
Not loads, I didn't, but they're individual pieces. So I was like trying to do the math though is so difficult because you've got a small amount of time to work it out. So you know what you're paying per unit, right, and then per bowl. But then what you've got to then think of is, can I move all of them fish? If not, is it still, when they give you your 2 prices, is it still worth paying that, or is it worth paying a little bit more per fish because I've got a better chance of moving them all on?
Moving them, yeah.
Right, so, it's like you sort of then have to start weighing the odds up. The thing is, take them all, you carry more risk, but then it brings the price of the fish down, and, it's not easy to sort of calculate everything all at the same time. So, but I took them all. Because such a fucking glutton.
I took them all. Fuck it.
Yeah. Then went down to Tanaka, done some hand piece, quick selection out of some small pieces for growing on. Yeah, I can't remember. It's a bit of a blur now. I've only just woke up, so my mind ain't quite working, but I'll be able to tell you.
You got
This-
Yamaguchi then
What day is
today?
it, Crafty?
It's Friday here today.
Just checking. Just checking.
So you're going
I didn't know
Yamaguchi?
that until yesterday, though, to be fair. I thought it was Wednesday yesterday. It was actually Thursday.
So you
Have you
lost
not
today?
been- You've not been to Satsumi yet?
Nope. No, that's tomorrow.
And you're going
I've got-
Yamaguchi today?
Yes, Yamaguchi, I'm in trouble because not one person has been through his fish house this season
Oh,
since
you're
he pulled his toes on.
You can have more.
And I'm a glutton. I'm a glutton for Yamaguchi, mate. That's the problem. I like his fish. And obviously, because our Azakari done well and he took a few pieces back, I've got some free pieces there as well. But I don't just want to take the free pieces because he's a one-man band. So I want to take a couple more on top of that just to give him a bit of extra custom. I don't want him not to earn any money out of me this year.
Are we doing any more Azakari with him again?
Yeah, them.
Oh,
So I've done a deal for 3 pieces that come out of Azakari this year, from Autumn Harvest, for 10 Tozai to go back into Azakari. So there's no money changed and I've literally done a trade. So I literally got the same deal as I got last year, but for exchanging fish that he sold me that I gave him back for another 10. It's like such a good deal, isn't it?
What about your own individual selection? Did that come? You've already got that back, or is that still there?
That's already back in the UK from the harvest. So a fresh selection. But this time, no one's been in, including fucking Ryan, before I get there. So
the heron. You mean the heron filled up elsewhere before you got there?
Mate, I'm actually there before him this year. And I'll be there tomorrow before he arrives, which is even better.
Wine's not a heron.
Providing it's not snowed another 2 foot deep.
Wine's not a heron anyway. He's an egret, smaller species.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine how
They've
big
got bigger heads as well, haven't they, the egret? Yeah. Highlight so far for me though was Kawakami yesterday. Actually hand selecting some goshki, and real decent sized goshki as well. And that was quite a challenge actually, because there was a lot of pieces. Oh yeah, those banging quality guys. I could have, if I could have afforded it, mate, I would have bowled them all up and said I'll have the whole pond, but they're not cheap, are they? So I picked a load of fish out of there, but the whole pond I went through one by one. And that quite challenging because you don't get your hands on goshki often enough to be able to like quality check every one to go through onto your bowl. And it was because they was all so similar. You was putting stuff back. There's killer patterns, but then let down by Benny in the peck, and it's like.
So you got the chance to be a lot more selective, though, from it.
But you got to be a little bit more. You got to be a little bit more critical to what customers want back home. Because what I like, and I don't get everything that I like as a pattern. I'm looking at variations to make
conversation earlier, Matt, didn't we?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, obviously, I'm going to have a taste that I really like, but not all customers do. So some people like more of a Benny pattern. Other customers prefer a dotty pattern. It's like so you have to sort of then start, but then being really selective of whether or not you want everything floating or whether you want anything like with a roving pattern coming through. If the body shapes are slightly out, they're all being gone. If the sizes are too different, gone. But it was quite difficult. It's like because you don't get to see them a lot and don't get to do a lot of comparisons. Like even in the shop watching small toes I grow through, because you don't get a lot of them. It's like fucking hell. That's took me a lot longer than I expected to take. But nevertheless, that's another feather in my cap now. where next time, if I manage to get there next time, I've got the ability to do it all over again, but I'll probably be a little bit quicker next time, you know, because I'll be able to see how them fish develop. Because I had some Kawakami fish back in 2 years ago, and I know how they developed in our water. So it took a little bit longer for the sumi to come. So at the start of the season, I was expecting our water really, like, within a couple of weeks to pull that sumi through, but it just didn't happen. It took probably until, it happened, but like quite late on in the buying season for us in the UK, and then they just started to fly out because the sumi had risen enough just to sell them, you know. So yeah, I was sort of looking at all different sumi placements as well on the selection. So some of them are really down, some of them are just starting to work, and a couple are right up. So, you know, it's going to be a real nice bowl of fish to bring back home and then see what happens from there. But they are fantastic, really, really good fish. I'm not picking them up, most like they are fantastic.
I imagine it must be. I mean, Matt, last time, I know you've got Ryan there and he's alongside you, and I don't know just from what I saw. I watched Ryan picking them, but I don't know how much Ryan might turn around and go, you know, these are good. This is what you should be looking for. Blah, 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 blah. I imagine for you guys, when you're out there and you're buying, and you're looking, there's a lot of pressure riding on it all, isn't there? To get that right stock, even though, like you say, Matt, I'm looking for stuff that my clientele are after and what they're interested in and want to buy. So you've got all that pressure of what they want, what your customers want, and then you've got to find that stock, pick that stock, and make sure you get that stuff right. Some that look quick sellers, some that developers, some that slow burners, so that there's aspects to carry you out through all your full season in your shops. It's not an easy task, is it? Well, I would imagine the added pressure of having a limited amount of time to do it as well while you're there.
Yeah, you're buying fish not necessarily for this year. You're buying fish for next year as well.
Yeah, Matt, be careful.
Not me. I want them all gone this year.
Well, yeah, no, but you might want something like you were saying there, Crafty. If you've got some that look like, you know, these are going to be bangers that are going to run straight at the door. People are going to come in and see them. There's going to be others that you've picked and you selected that look like they're developing and you can read what they're doing. And you've got others that are going to be slow burners that will start to develop as the season goes on throughout. It's not an easy task.
That's how you have to buy, though, mate.
Yeah, no, but it's not an easy task to do.
If you buy too many finished fish now, right? Too many finished fish now, it's all well and good. Like, yeah, if they all sold immediately and we had no fish after 3 weeks, mate, I'm well happy with that. It means I've got more money in the bank to go and buy some more from somewhere if I can get my hands on any.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
But ultimately, that's never going to happen. That's a perfect scenario, isn't it? But so what you need to do is you need to cater for so many people that you've got to really think about what you're picking and where they are in their development phase. I got it a little bit wrong last year, where actually a lot of the fish that I was picking had too much development to come. So things like Showa and Showa, yeah, they just didn't sell because they wasn't ready enough. So they're just starting to really sprout that I've got back in the shop now, where the sumi is starting to break through and make them a lot more sellable. You know, for me, and I've varied that up a little bit now. So every time you come to Japan, you learn something new, not only in Japan, but on what you bought the year before, right? So like Gromo for me last year, right? Absolute stunning Gromo, right? Hard as fuck to sell. Just hard sales.
It feels like deja vu, or not deja vu, but literally, Kraft, I know you weren't there when we were talking about it. I said exactly that. I bought some stunning Gromos and I grew them on. They're all 40 cm, something like that. And I can't budget. It's just, it's almost like the name isn't spoken about enough. It isn't sexy enough.
Well, it's not. I mean, I'll have a chat with you about that behind the scenes, Matt.
Yeah,
right,
I get where you're coming from.
I'll have a chat with you behind the scenes on what we need, what maybe you need a little bit of help with on that.
You need
Without
to-
being, I'm not being rude.
Do an article on them.
Yeah,
Grow
and it's exactly that. It's exactly that. I mean, I think that if I'd have done my YouTube auctions last season, which was stopped, that then gives a lot more people the eyes to look at them. So therefore, your customer base widens.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're relying on people just walking through the door to pick them up, they're not going to be their first choice when they've got other stuff to look at. You know, you've really got to sell them.
No, don't they? They stick with what they used to and what they know.
Yeah,
Whereas
and
the Gromo was more popular and seemed more popular in the show scene this last year. God, it's weird. It goes that years ago that fast. Last year they seemed quite popular. Year before, not as popular, but there was more. And the year before, you just sort of the odd few of them. Each season or each years that go by, stuff becomes a little bit more popular and a bit more out there, and people see him a little bit more. But I don't think the Gromo is a massively popular one as of yet. But I do know that there are a lot more of them about this year than what there has been. Yeah,
there's a problem. The trouble with them is they're one of the hardest to get right, aren't they? A good one looks amazing when it's developed, mature, but bad ones look shit, and good ones look shit when they're young as well. So you kind of in a
you're right, mate. Yeah,
know what you're looking at. They don't look.
There's no in between with them. Like they're sort of like
bangers of shit.
Look fucking great or look crap, and the chat. You know, and generally bad ones look good early on, and the good ones look bad early on, and then as they develop through, that skin starts to blossom. The sumi comes up, starts to fill out the Benny pattern, so you get a real nice finish. Then they look mint, but the ones that look good when they're younger, that sumi starts to push through the Benny, and it starts to look really messy and crap, basically. You know,
again though, it's another trait in it that you've got to pick and select well, knowing how they're going to develop.
When people do that, it's too difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, all difficult, isn't it? To be fair,
you've got to really like Ryan's there, mate, as a backup if you need him there. Right? He gets you to where you need to get to. All right, that's what I pay him for anyway, to get us to where we need to go. Right. So when it comes to the actual selection, he will give you as much assistance as you want or none at all. All right. You know, me personally, I don't have Ryan over my shoulder the whole time. I'll pull him in if I want a second of opinion on something, but ultimately I make the decision on what goes in the sold bowl. You know, my preference is that Ryan isn't there because I'm going to learn.
Again, do you think that adds more pressure then, on putting yourself under a little bit more?
No, Ryan's a fucking.
I don't mean just because of Ryan. I mean anybody, mate. So if let's say, for example, I were there and I were not a customer, but I was somebody that was somebody else, but I was interested. The more people you got looking over that ball, the more pressure you're under in that short time scale that you need to do it.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, let's concentrate on Ryan's there, right? And he can be a fucker, mate, because he can make you put fish in that bowl, even though you're not seeing what you're putting in that bowl. All right, so you've got to be you've got to be your own person, your own standard, and say no, thank you, no, thank you. So you fucking sure? Yep, no, thank you. Right, because in my opinion, I've got to understand that fish, or I know my customers better than Ryan knows my customers. Right now, right, that fish may fit into what Ryan wants, but not necessarily what I want. I'm not saying that Ryan's doing good or bad on that. What I'm saying is that Ryan will go, "Are you fucking sure?" Yes, and I go, all right. You know, it doesn't mean that you're putting a good piece away. It's like I know in my head what I want to buy and what I'm selecting for. All right. So yes, good fish don't get selected purposely because they don't always fit within my customer base. Like Ryan's business model versus my business model are worlds apart. We've got a bricks and mortar store that everybody that walks through the door sees everything all the time. Ryan has got a closed door business that everything is presented online on a majority, other than down at Kev's. Right, it's got the ability to stock rotate, etc. So there's a lot more there that you guys don't get to see. My shop, you get to see everything, right? But not everything
that
moves
gives
as
you
well.
different picking aspects to be looking at and looking into because of those reasons.
Yeah, so when my shop's a lot more mass market as well. All right, so it's like literally people that have never bought a fish before in their life are walking through my store. Right, so I can get some cheaper pieces that aren't necessarily the best quality. And I don't mean that by being knackered
let's
fish.
put it as sort of pond fillers, introduction fish, beginners.
Yeah. So they're not the best quality. They're not necessarily the best quality. They're good quality, not best.
Yeah.
Right. So they're good enough. You've got your 40, 50 pound koi that you can buy.
Time yourself out, Alan.
So basically, you put a load of fish in a pond, kill them, come back, buy another load, or keep overloading your pond on all these fish, and then you end up, because they buy from everywhere rather than start to stick to a couple of dealers, kill everything. But then they start to realise they're wasting quite a lot of money, but their eye starts to change, and then they move up a step, and then up a step. Now, from my store, right, I get a lot of people that can take through that journey from starting to becoming more of a novice into a bit more of a seasoned sort of pro rather than a show person, etc. Yeah. See their styles changing, their fish, etc. Right? I can do that through our store. Ryan may not necessarily have as many people as I do for that, so you have to cater for all of that. It's really, really not easy. So when Matt goes, his business model is completely different to mine and Ryan's. Right? No one koi dealer is the same in any stretch of the imagination. As weird as that sounds, it's so true. And then when you have the breeder overlooking you, and Ryan's there overlooking you, there is a pressure of what you're looking at, right? But something I don't really give a damn. It's like I'll put in that bowl what I think's a good fish, right? And if the breeder's looking and he's thinking you've done a fucking good job there, then credit to you. If he thinks that you've done an average job there, he don't care, because you're getting rid of the fish that he don't fucking want.
he's still moving stock. Yeah.
I'm not going to go. I'm not. You build your relationships, and my experience from 3 years ago to today is like my eye has really improved. My ability to pick fish faster has really improved. It's like I don't know.
Progression and learning curve still for you now, and will be for many, many more years to come. As well as,
I think anybody that thinks that they're an expert, Ryan included in this.
Oh no, man! No, yeah, that's what I mean. This is what we were talking about earlier as well, like how you progress and people progress throughout the hobby.
Well, if you work hard at what you so I'm a big believer. If you do a job, right, then you should really put heart and soul into that job. Right, and become good at what you do. There's no point in just being a number and turning up and taking a paycheck. That's not becoming somebody that is good at what they do. That is just someone that's coming along for the ride. Now you can either come along for the ride or learn how to drive it. Right, so that's my mentality. So everything that I've ever done in life, in a profession, I've always like constantly learning, striving to be the best that I can be. One thing I've learned from this job, right, in the koi world is that I have seen my abilities, like on picking fish, etc., increase. My knowledge on development is soared. Right, the ability to look at a fish and the conformation, how it holds itself in the water, and them small imperfections have increased. So, like picking fish, like yesterday was a good example down at Miatora. Right, there was fish that last year I would have threw in a bowl. This year, just noticing things like little spots in the skin that back home will develop lots of fucking speckly shimmies all over it. And then just having that quick ability to spot that and throw that away rather than put it in your bowl to bring home and then have a hard sale. You know, and everybody every year you come here, so much change because the Japanese change things, so you have to relearn what they're doing as well. And that's where Ryan comes in. So his knowledge base is excellent, isn't it? Right. But then something happens in Japan, and then the next thing, Ryan's then learning the next thing. Right. So he's got a big presence in the show scene. Right. He is now learning more and more about how the show scene works in order to do as well as he's doing.
Yeah,
right?
he said it himself that every time he goes, he comes back with something new that he's learned and something else that he has to learn about, which is year in, year out.
True. And we've all got different opinions. So again,
isn't it? If you don't learn what you just stand still, didn't you?
Yeah, you
absolutely. You know, but there are dealers out there that don't do that. You know, and you know, it's the same in any walk of life. There's people that will and people that won't, and it's no different in the koi world. You know, you only get out what you put in. You know, and I know that I can sometimes come across as fucking hell. He's always objective and all this, but ultimately my mindset is not the same as anybody else's. So I look at things in different angles. I think outside the box a lot more than rather than jumping on a bandwagon and going in the flow of everyone else. Always been that way. That's from military training. Actually, it's always to think outside the box. And that's the traits that pull you through. You know, it's important to have. If we was all the same, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
It would, mate. Yeah, totally.
You know,
like
but you know the people that are working hard. That's for sure.
Is that right?
Like middle-aged men. If we're all middle-aged men, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
What is it that you're looking forward to then, Matt, to getting out there? Does that sound, a lot of that sound to be ringing true? Does that things that you're...
Yeah, definitely. The one I want to go to is Kano. See the Goski there?
Fuck, mate, I'm trying to get in there, mate.
No, he won't take you. He's saving it. He's already told me.
He's saving it for Matt.
Anyway.
But you know something, Matt? I don't think I'll get in there this week.
Yeah, it was funny talking to Ryan last week where he was saying, he's spoken to them. They won't be moving to Tosai until the end of the month.
End of March.
And it's like... even
last year. Is that because of the weather conditions or is that because of...
Mate, it can be anything. So Otsuki yesterday, right? So it's in my YouTube video that comes out. I prove the point to everybody. All right. He tells you the ponds that you can pick out of, right? And there's a pond at the back that is full of Kiatsuris that, you know, you think you think to yourself, right, I want some of them fish out of there. Right. So I stood there on video yesterday, plain as day, and I went, Otsuka-san. Huh? He went, no. Nope. And then just fucking walked off. Right. And you're like thinking, fuck, I just want to get my net in there because there's some fish. Obviously, I carry a price tag, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. If I could just have just five. It's like, fuck off. They're mine. And it's the same everywhere you go. But, you know, this is the pressures that we find ourselves over in Japan at the minute. I'll share this, right? So when you hear of the Asian influence and the American influence that's happening over here at the minute, right? Some of the breeders, right, they're businesses, yeah? If somebody comes in and says, right, I'll give you all this money for all of that, right? Okay. So, like, someone from Malaysia comes along, buys 70 boxes out your fish house, right? Because he's emptied your ponds. He's just done 70 like that, and he's gone, fucking show me that money, son. Right? As a dealer, someone comes in and says, right, I'll buy all your fish. Absolutely no fucking problem. There you go. Right? I've made the money now. Right? Now I'll just go and refill them ponds again. But the problem over here is they don't refill their ponds till next year.
Yeah.
Right, so that then puts a bit of a stop on the supply back to the UK because
this is what we're
that's happening more and more.
Week, isn't it? We were saying when I was saying last week, do you think it'll get to the point where they can't keep up with demand and have to make changes?
It's not necessarily the demand, mate. You know, they've only got so much real estate and so much success. You know, in order for this is everything that I've got. Out you go.
And why would you put all? If you could got somebody that approached and said, "Look, we'll take everything out of those 2 mud ponds," why would you wait for the individual people that are going to come through in dribs and drabs buying 170 pieces, a couple of boxes when they can sell the whole lot in one foul swoop? You can understand them doing it, can't you? Because it's guaranteed cash flow done, isn't it? That's it. That's our hard season. No more. We can just kick back and relax a bit. Maybe do another spawn, whatever.
But then there's some dealers out there, mate. Breeders, sorry, that will go when Mr. Texas comes along with all his oil-rich dollar and goes, "I want all of this." They're like, "Yeah, we can do that for you," and then they'll just send all their crap for high price, keep the best stock, and then allow customers to come through that I deal with all the time.
Yeah,
you know, it all depends on who you are and how they want to do business on the day. A lot of the time, you know, they're all different in themselves as well. You know, some like
again that's them relations that you've built up over there, whether or not you get that. You know, them keep trading with you because of the build up and the mutual respect back and forth for each other, so that you can still keep going there and trading with them time and time again.
Yeah, and there is an element of that. I mean, Yoshino, for example, he always prepares a set of fish for you. So he controls what goes through. So he's always got something for everyone. Because he's such a small-time dealer, right, dealing in good quality koi, that he doesn't want to let everybody down. He wants those people to come back to him all the time, because there's no good selling everything and then all your other buyers come round and go, "Fuck him, he's never got anything." And then that one buyer decides, "I don't want to do anything." Now you're lumbered with all your fish and no one wants to come to you because of the way you've dealt with them in the past.
Yeah.
You know, so many politics involved, but ultimately that's what we're up against here. It's hard. It's really hard. You know,
it doesn't look hard. You're in Japan, other side of the world, having a lovely time, buying some amazing fish.
Yeah, but it's
no
hard.
Islands here.
Yeah,
it's hard, mate. The thing is, though, it's like you know, if what they put in front of you is not good enough, you've got to have the balls to say no, thank you.
No, yeah,
right. The thing is, you only got a certain amount of cash, right, for your whole year's worth of Tozai, right. So if you're buying stuff you don't really want, or you can't make a box up, or this year again, what I've done is, rather than fill a box, I've taken the pieces I want and then lessened it a little bit, so I can make my budget go a little bit further. You know, it makes the bottom point no different really. We'll lose a few quid because I haven't filled the box up. But ultimately, I'm not putting the stuff in just to make the numbers up. I'm only taking
to fill a box for its box flow.
Yeah. So again, it's all about the numbers. You know, and that's something that I've learned over the last few years of coming out. You know, it's really important to have that sort of experience.
Quick question there, then, Rick. Question for Rick from a breeder's perspective: do you hold back fish for steady sales, or are you waiting to enjoy the fish and watch their development? Or are you waiting to enjoy the fish and watch their development?
I don't. Yeah.
Can I answer your? Can I say how I think you're going to answer?
Yeah.
Right, and just so you can go, you got it fucking well wrong. I think from a breeder's perspective, what Rick will do is, as he goes through each stage of development in them fish to get to the best ones, he will trim those fish down based on quality to put them out at different sales, different price points in the shop, until he gets to the quota of these best ones, which he probably 98% of which will be released for sale, and only a few will be kept on for further development and learning, which will be probably 2 or 3 of his best ones.
Pretty much.
What he
Pretty
said.
much. So literally, that you just go every time you cull, you go through, you're weeding out fish that haven't hit your expectations. But there's always a percentage I keep that are nothing to do with sales, is to do with what I want to see. And those fish, it doesn't matter how much you grow them, the value's not going to be great because for whatever reason the patterns are crap or whatever. But there's something about their body or their skin or their something about them I want to watch develop and grow. But it's not going to be a great sales fish. But yeah, it's just the way that every breeder works, isn't it? There's a few that are lucky enough to sell everything young and get top dollar for them when they're young enough. But for us, you just got to keep your better stuff and make them a bit bigger to get that. If a fish is 15,
Get a better return on it.
Amazing. I can't charge 400 quid for it. But that same fish a year later at 40 centimeters, I probably can charge that for it.
But equally, Rick, you can't hold on to every single fish either.
Yeah, but there's not many that are worth holding on to in reality. In terms of numbers from where you start,
I don't know. I've seen one, and the person Darren asking the question now. I've seen a fish he bought off you 50 quid. That would be worth 400 quid now.
That was in a special tunnel. That was a special deal for someone that's on a special event. Even so, to be fair, he was in halfway through the event when he picked that fish. No one else was going to pick that fish.
Yeah,
I was.
Well, yeah, but some people might have been picking that fish, but no one had picked that fish.
I actually put that fish in front of 4 people before he come in, and they all turned it down.
So, but that's people choosing and not. To be fair, it's just that's just how it is, isn't it? You win if you know what you're looking at, you can win, and if you don't, you don't, and it's still a long way from being finished. But I chose to let it go because I was pretty much nailed on it as a male. I'm not so sure anymore. That's how it is. It's a variety. Shearers are a variety. You can not beat the breeder, but get a fish at a sensible price that becomes an absolute belter.
No, it does get earmarked as beat the breeder, beat the dealer, doesn't it? Them ones, they do. Yeah, they slip through the net, don't they? They do.
There's certain
but
varieties
based on your own criteria at the time, Rick, isn't it? At the time, it didn't mean
it's still it's not an issue. That's
no, you celebrate these little wins, man. That's brilliant. It happens to all of us, mate. Not all of us that happens to. I shouldn't have let that go.
To be fair, the reality is we do 1 million fish a year or whatever. We don't keep hardly any. They're all sold at some point. That's the whole point of it, isn't it?
And that's what proves your business model works well, Rick, right?
Well,
you don't want half your stock left at the end of the year, mate, do you?
Continue these WhatsApp auctions. WhatsApp auctions? It's fucking bedlam today, mate. We need to refine our process a bit, I think.
Got a question for you, Rick. Which I think, as a breeder, this would be more suited for you to give us an answer for. Michael Thompson says, I bought a Dainichi Kahaku female 50 cm. It would have been a mega expensive, very high quality, but it has a small indentation in its head. If I wanted to breed from it, would the dent genetically come out in any of its babies?
A dent, yeah, a deformed bone structure, yes. I would be. You still could, but you're running the risk of more of the same.
Deformed skull shapes.
Yeah. So there's certain stuff like the gill flaps. So there's certain things that are environmental and certain things that are more
genetics.
Show us a lot more of the genetics. Yeah, and shearers as well are a nightmare for that big eggy. There's certain genetics in head shape, bone structure, all that. So anything you're going to breed from really needs to be as perfect or almost beyond perfect in pec fins, in head shape, in bone structure. It's got to be nailed on, because you start passing that down in multiplications and more, and it depends what you're crossing it with as well. If you want to create a weird and wonderful and you're crossing it something completely different, it's not such a problem. But if you're crossing it with another Dainichi Kahaku to try and
get a real nice Kahaku offspring,
it's a difficult one. But those kind of proper bone structural issues are more of a genetic issue. And
make 2 dwarfs, get a dwarf.
no, sometimes you get giants.
Yeah, or it works the opposite way. But more than likely a dwarf.
No, not at all.
But it's the trouble is that's the breeding it, and that's where limited brood stock. The certain varieties of fish, Shearet Series, probably the prime example, that virtually every Shearet Series come from one original parent set at Omasako 30 years ago. And that parent set produced all of the best Shearos, and all the breeders that then do Shearos got fish from that. And the blood was so thick, so interrelated, that they had to bring in showers to try and create a bit different. And then the quality goes to shit. And that's the problem. So you end up with a bloodline that has got these issues.
It's like back breeding, not going back to bigger framed fish, single colours, or with lower like a blank canvas that you can put back in to get the body frame size and stature and different bloodline, and then rebuild back into that pattern for your showers and your Kahakus, and you're putting something, crossing it back in.
You do, yeah. So Matsunoski was one of the first ones to do it with the Magoi line, the black line, and then Koi no Yen, or whatever they're called, did it with the white Magoi. Kanishi have done it with their Krashigoi line. So the giant Krashigoi line is probably where all the big Krashigoi come from, but they then cross that with Kajaku stuff to create big Kajaku.
Yeah.
So
to get the bigger frame set, bodied fish and everything to it.
You've got to take the hit. If you're gonna take a high end goer and cross it with a big Magoi, you'll 4 generations before you're selling fuck all. That's the problem. You're producing so much crap that it's difficult from a business. So even if you're spawning, it takes 4 years to get a fish to breed from again, potentially looking at a 16-year project to have high-end fish again. There's not many businesses that can do that.
No.
You're seeing that in the Dainichi Yellow Monkey range, right? It's like the first generation of them was superb, and then the problem then come into the bloodline when I think they lost one of the parents, the female, and then they tried to then recreate that. So last year, was it last year? I think it was last year, we started to see things like white monkey and brown monkey and fucking pink monkey and that. It's like, and that is merely down to the fact that that line was not the original lineup. So it's trying to recreate something. He's getting the bone structure, but one thing they're not getting on a regular basis now, like from the first spawning, and it shows in what's being released, is that yellow fish, which is what made that fish so like body structure and how deep that yellow was across that fish. You didn't see that in the second generation, right? So they still haven't got it to where it was, and they probably won't ever get that back because they haven't got the fish that done it.
But they've got the offspring. That's the thing.
They got the offspring, haven't they? Yeah, that's what I mean. The offspring should carry the traits eventually. They should get back
but you've got your.
If you've got this is the problem we got. Then okay, so from that point of view, if you've lost that magic female, but you've got the offspring, you either then breed the offspring with its dad, or you breed the offspring
back crossing.
Yeah, but then you'll get into the point where suddenly you're thickening the blood to
Yeah. Then at some point you've got to cross back out again, haven't you?
And that comes from
Well,
okay,
that's
single
what we
colours.
class as line breeding, isn't it?
They like to say they don't do it, but
But they do, because they've got to do. Yeah. But you can only do it so many times, can't you? We got a couple of more questions, and then I'm going to be making a wrapping it up for the evening. Quick one there from Andrew. Excuse me, from Andrew. When you do the early grading, why do you only keep the black fry? I'm going to assume that's going to be when you're doing shower or when you're doing your shuru.
no. So and well, yeah, Kinkitsuri, Kitsuri, Hitsuri, any black-based variety, Beni Kikikuru, Komomryu. So they're all black-based fish. So the black fry are the only fry that become that variety. And generally, the black fry, certainly from stuff like Showa, Shiritsuri, are weaker than the white fry. So if you just leave them, the white fry grow faster and then will basically dominate or even eat the black fry. So literally, you have to split them as early as possible, which is normally done at 3 or 4 days old with a siphon or whatever. Lots of ways of doing it. But yeah, so those black-based varieties, and again, it's another prime example. So you're picking out the weakest fish at 4 days old to keep, whilst getting rid of the strong ones. But like here at Surrey, say 60% hatch orange, they're Bendigo. They're all plain orange fish. That grow
not got the traits that you're actually looking for.
No, and every black one will become an orange and black patterned offspring. Some of there's different qualities, but literally every black fry will become an orange and black fry or orange and black fish.
Yeah.
So if you don't do it, yeah, there's some varieties, Shiros.
Then you're selecting Bendigo instead.
Yeah, you have to do it, but it is an absolute. Our biggest problem is that when the spawning time is probably the busiest time for everything on the farm. So how do you set aside a week to do all that culling and nothing else? It's a nightmare.
Yeah, but a big job that needs to be done.
If it's not done, you're wasting your time. But it's just So yeah, that's why it's done. Certain varieties, Komomryu, Matsukawabaki, if you get the parents right, all the offspring start black. So that's easy because they're all black. But yeah, Shiro Showers, Hitsuri, Kitsuri, Kinshowa, Kinkitsuri all need doing.
That's a
And then
lot
you
to
when you start chopping in Deutsch, so even like the showers, you got Deutsch shower, Gimrin shower, normal shower, Kin shower. That's 4 sets that have all got to be done. Then you do it's just
that's a lot of picking. Right then, last question of the evening then, and this is one for each one of us. Individually, we'll start off with from me to Matt to Rick to Crafty, and the question is for each of you: do you feel good when you sell the best fish in the pond, or gutted it's gone?
I like this question.
Yeah, me too. Go on then, Matt. You can answer first.
Personally, depends where it's going. If it's going to a cracking pond, somebody that's going to care and love it and take it to its full potential, I'm happy. If it's going to a customer that you would question, unfortunately, you've got a customer that's going to buy it, they're going to buy it, and that's it. But yeah, truthfully, happy if it's going to a customer that's going to look after it, appreciate it, love it. Gutted if I know it's not. And it's just money talk.
You've answered for all of us then, really, didn't you?
I'm guessing yours is the same then, Rick.
No, if it's the best fish in the pond, I wouldn't put it in there. It wouldn't be there.
Crafty?
Yeah, pretty similar to Matt. I'm always, it doesn't have to be the best fish. I always like them customers that share the development, show me what they've done with the fish. If it's the best fish, then I will make sure that it's going to somewhere where that fish can be looked after as it deserves, basically. You know, it's if you ain't got a good setup, it ain't going there. You know, simple as that. It's,
so how do you do that?
Quite...
You got these fish are all 500 quid, but you can't buy it, mate.
You sound like pets at home now, Crafty. When you try to buy a fish and they say, "Okay."
No, generally,
you got in your tank? How many litres is it?
I'm looking at.
Last time you did what, James?
I'm looking at that expensive koi that I look at every day, thinking, yeah, I've took good care of you. It's had a knock. I've nurtured it, brought it back. Right, I don't want it to go to a pond that, you know, is potentially just going to be swimming around and not necessarily cared for. So, you know, I'd be gutted if it goes. I'm gutted if it goes because it means you haven't got it. But then on the other hand, I'm quite happy. It means that I've got a big space or a space to put another fish in of equal sort of quality. So that's
I think when you're surrounded by beautiful fish all day long, and you get the sale's good because obviously you know you're going to get that sale, and you're happy that fish is gone. But for me, genuinely gutted when I see him gone, because you do become attached to him. I mean, even to the point where I sit aside at ponds and I'll be eating my lunch and I'll be feeding those fish and I'll be interacting with them. And then when you see those fish gone, I genuinely am gutted that they've gone. I mean, Ryan saw we had all those big yellow monkeys, and those big yellow monkeys within days of them being in there, were tuned in. The second I walked in, man, they were all climbing side at walls, and you're thinking, that's mint. And then sit there with them and you start feeding them and you think, God, you know what? I really like that fish in there. That one is an absolute stunner. That is mint. I really like that fish. And then when they sold, they were like, bastard. It's like
it's not always the best fish either. It's like
no, it doesn't. Yeah, genuinely, mate. They're just some fish that I mean, those chags, for example, having those chags in that growing pond, and now I've got other stuff in there that's growing on in that pond, and there's fish in there that I can literally now drop individual pellets in the mouth because they come to me that quickly. And I know it's the same fish, day in, day out, that does the same thing. And I will be genuinely gutted again when those move on. But then as soon as you're kind of gutted that they've gone, something else comes in and it's not so much replaced, but the gap's filled, so to speak. But yeah, it is a bit sickening, isn't it, to see them go, especially if it's one that you're fond of.
You see, that big Goshki Sankey that I bought in last year, right? You know, that when that went, I was gutted because I didn't want to sell it because
I would have been good with that one too.
It was a fucking lovely fish and fairly rare. So it was nice for me to come in every day to look at it and give it a bit of food and whatnot and watch it going through further development, learning from it. And then, you know, but the thing is, you've got to sell them. You can't keep them all as much as you want.
Oh, yeah, 100% you've got to do it.
Can you?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I was gutted when that went. Gutted.
You're not putting on public display.
But I was fucking happy with the sale.
Alan says.
Good. If you're a breeder, the best koi is always in the pond. Even if you sell the best fish, it's still there. Totally right. Totally right. And they're fucking liars, though. Because once you've bought a few fish and then I say, oh, do you want to come and have a look at these? And it's like, fuck me, I thought that was your best fish. And before you know it, you're 10K
well,
short.
That's the best fish out of that lot that you were looking at. Now, these are the best fish out of this lot that you're going to get a chance to look at.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? The beauty of the hobby, isn't it? I think that's the beauty of being in the hobby, being a part of the industry and being a part of being involved in it all is you do get to see that stuff, but you are genuinely sometimes sickened when they're gone. I mean, I've sold stuff and I thought, bastard, I would have really liked that for me.
I don't want that.
Yeah. Right then.
Well, mate, I'm the same though, Gus. You said that. I'd really like that for me. Every time I get myself a fish out here, I bought one already.
You never get it for you, do you? You never get it. You
I don't,
sell it.
because fucking certain people come around the shop and they love it. And
Well, I think that's what Ryan does when he finds these fish and he calls them his pets, and then he sells them on, and he goes out and finds himself another pet to replace it with. I think that's purely what he's doing. Is those are fish that he would probably really like to own and keep himself, but you can't.
Yeah.
You've got to.
I mean, you can. I mean, it's like generally, mate, it's sat in the shop waiting for the right time for me to move it home. But ultimately, it's what certain people come through the shop and go, "What did you buy yourself then, Kraft?" And I've got this one. Go on then, what's the damage?
and there goes another fish disappeared again. It never made it to the pond.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's it this evening, ladies and gents. We are going to bring it to a draw. Thank you very much, Crafty, for joining us, especially with being as early as what it was out there and is out there. Guys, I'll give you one more year. Ryan will beat this out of you next year. Mindset, there's always another koi. That's it, mate. That's it. That's what I mean. They do replaced. So there's stuff that I've enjoyed watching them growing on and stuff and seeing them now they're developing and what have you. And then they've gone, and then if someone else comes in and takes its place to a set. But yeah, it's still kind of gutting. Still genuinely gutting. But yeah, usual thing, guys. If you've been enjoying this kind of content, do us a huge favor. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And until next time, guys, keep smiling. We'll catch you on the next one. Good night, all. Oh, and Matt, safe travels. Enjoy your trip. Hope to hear from you while you're over there. Crafty, enjoy your last couple of days that you got out there, mate. Safe travels on your way home, bud.
I'll see you
Still
sometime.
got 3 days left, mate.
Yeah, I know that, but those 3 days will go fast, won't they?
Oh, fucking yeah.
Oh, he's ready for bed. Look at him.
Yeah.
When you go,
Mate, I have one good night's kit. One good night. First night I got here, 2 hours sleep.
You know, like
2 hours sleep.
You know,
2
like
hours sleep.
look at you out partying with Ryan like that. Come
That's
on,
it.
girls. Come on.
I don't drink.
You could tell, you could hear it in voice, Rick, couldn't you? You'd been on karaoke.
I fucking don't drink, man. I don't go out.
Didn't say you're
I'm
drunk.
Herbert.
Said you've been on karaoke. You could hear.
I'm a Herbert, mate.
A hermit,
Anyway.
not a Herbert, but that'll do.
Yeah, Herbert the Hermit.
Matt's the same bloke either. He's not going to those clubs.
Do you know, they would just sit here and do this all night long. They would. They really would. But guess what?
This has been one hell of an experience.
Have a look at that.
New change in the garden. Made a little seat there. Into the little bush. So you can sit inside. And the other pond.